Hi everyone, my name is Mondo and this is episode 21 of Hungry Gaming Podcast, where we discuss the latest of all gaming going on. Today we plan to discuss AMD's Ryzen and Threadripper and Vega cards coming out. We're also going to talk about GPU shortages due to cryptocurrency mining, Rockstar's psychic lawsuit, Fortnite's early access hype, and Bungie's streaming restrictions for Destiny 2 on the PC. Today, joining us, Mike, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Nice. And Ryan, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All right, before we begin, we have some housekeeping. Please remember to check out our main website, www.hungrynetwork.com. There you can find all of our latest episodes, and you can subscribe to make sure you never miss a beat of what we have to say. We upload every Monday, although time may depend on the weather. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, and other affiliate podcast services by simply searching Hungry Gaming Podcast. Please make sure to click that subscribe button. Now, we're at the end of July, and we have some interesting topics to discuss, specifically AMD. Now, AMD has released the line of Ryzen CPU chips, particularly the Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7. Those have come out. I think Ryzen 7 came out on March 2nd, the 5th, April 11th, the 3rd, July 27th. The Threadripper is what I want to focus on right now for a second because it's coming out in about 2 weeks, and it's kind of exciting because this is actually AMD's kind of their comeback to to Intel's monopoly over the CPU.
They're catching up.
They're catching up. They're trying to. The prices I think start at $599 and go up to like $1,000. Mike, I don't want to talk too much about specifics. Just want to keep this brief, but I do want to talk about you run an AMD processor on your
right. Yeah, I picked up one of the higher end of the last generation of them,
the 8350 Black Edition.
Yeah, so I picked that up because the one that I had, I can't remember, 6300 is what I was running beforehand, but it wasn't powerful enough to run Battlefield 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to get that so that way I can draw myself more in line with the modern games. It's not super powerful, and obviously with this new stuff, I was able to get a decent deal on it. So I'm not looking to upgrade, but I think generally AMD is, I don't know, I'm not like super, because I hear stories of Intel, from the other side, and they're better performance, and even though some of them are more expensive, it's something I'm looking into upgrading at some point. So I might wait for the next line of Intel of chips or whatever, just to get back into upgrading my PC and moving forward. I'll probably end up upgrading my graphics before I do the chip at some point. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, then, so the Threadripper, the reason it's called the Threadripper is because supposedly it runs like massively hyper-threading capabilities, and we're talking like 16 cores on the highest end with 64 hyper-threading ability. I mean, it's like massive amounts of data bandwidth, technically.
Right.
There's a lot of processing power. Interestingly enough, I saw that the clock speeds vary depending on the hyper-threading count. So you'll get like anywhere between like 3.5 to 4.0, as opposed to like Intel's i7 line or i9 line, which like their gigahertz, the clocks is like insane. We're talking like people have been able to overclock i7 7700K to like I think like 5.1, 5.2.
That's insane.
Ryan, just to give you an average idea, most CPUs run between like 3.5 to 4.0.
Okay.
And we're looking at i7s hitting 5.1.
So by through overclocking. So like you just set it up in a way where it's working overtime, basically.
Right.
And it's so much so that with overclocking it's dangerous because you have to keep an eye on the numbers as you're using it. So you'll be gaming, so you can't
fry it.
You could potentially fuck things up. Yeah. Same thing with GPU. That's why when they talk about overclocking, some cards they sell like pre-overclocked where they're set up already to run like that, but it's too much of a risk for me, so I never really jump into this kind of realm of PC stuff. I'll go with what I got, and if it runs out of the box the way that's set up, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
I usually go like I meet like the manufacturers halfway, and I'll be like I'll overclock, but within the voltage limits.
There you go.
So I will not touch. I won't touch voltage limits, and they usually say the worst that happens, the graphics card just shuts off and then resets,
as opposed to like
frying it
spontaneously combusting.
So you're just redlining it like if it was a car.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not, like I'll get it, but I'll keep it stock. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'll maybe do some body work to it, but I'm not going to be messing with the engine.
But I'm not adding
put some nice wheels on it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm not adding like
switch out the radio.
I'm not adding an aftermarket turbo.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm not going to put nitrous in it.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah. But yeah, so with me in PC gaming, it's like I'm knowledgeable. I know how to build a PC. I know what I need to do all that stuff. I like having things set up the way I like it. But when it comes to the numbers of the CPU stuff, some of it goes over my head, so I don't really care about teraflops and things like that. It's just like,
you guys want to
tell me,
are those
in
terrible
relation,
flops in basketball?
Well, you want to hear a really funny story? So every time I refer to teraflops, people think I'm like making it up because it sounds.
No,
funny.
yeah, exactly. It's a silly, weird word.
500 quadrillion teraflops.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like one of those random.
Like you can probably put it together in some kind of
tech
Rick and
terms
Morty
that
episode.
like stick in Rick and Morty.
Yeah, exactly. You just fucking
Jeez,
makes
Morty,
it up.
like it's like 14 teraflops.
But yeah, so basically, I don't really pay attention to that stuff. What I do is I go with comparisons. I look at, so currently with a graphics card, I'd be like, how much more powerful or less powerful is it than the 1080? So that way I have an idea of how it runs or whatever. So the same thing with the CPUs is like, the i9, like, is it more powerful or less powerful than this? It's like, that'll let me decide where I want to think about upgrading in the future.
Yeah.
So I'll hold on to my stuff.
And we also have to look at. It always comes down to money for most people, unless
Absolutely,
you're kind of like one of these like gaming enthusiasts who have an endless amount of cash to waste. Most of the times, it comes to a balancing of, I think they call it like performance, per like cost of using it, and they're usually most YouTubers who do this type of stuff will like narrow it down to like amount of like percentage of watts that uses like the amount of like time or frame rates that you get or something like
That's
that.
nuts. Yeah.
But I think that your way is the best way, and like I'm just for those of you guys who are listening who maybe are in the idea of like buying a new graphics card or a new CPU. I've usually found the best way to kind of gauge if it's for you is just by going on YouTube and typing in gameplay with that graphics card,
and see it
exactly
see how it performs.
See the frame rate that it runs on that game with roughly the same kind of setup that you have. And
see, with me, it's like, if I'm running most of the games that I'm getting on PC at medium to high settings, I'm fine. I don't need to upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you don't want to play like 4K Ultra?
I don't need that. I don't have that like drive to be like, it has to be on every setting on max, and it has to be there, and it has to run smooth. Otherwise, I'm going to lose it. No, because I don't have the money for that kind of upgrade. I want to upgrade my CPU and I want to upgrade my GPU, but turns out that those are the two most expensive things to upgrade on the PC.
That's something that you kind of have to break yourself out of, though, right? Because like when I would imagine if you first get into it, like, I want to run everything on max.
Yeah,
you kind of have to break yourself out of that and be like, no, let me like stay in my lane. You have to make some sacrifices. Enjoy the game and have it on medium settings.
Yeah, it's somewhat a little bit addicting, like gambling. Like you'll play the game and then you'll be like, no, but I want it to run on ultra, but it's not running at.
It can always be better,
but it's not running at.
Like Witcher 3, it was one of those things where it was like, I want to put some of these settings up, but it's like I'm getting 30 to 40 FPS. It's like I know if I turn this and this down, I'll get 50, 60, and it'll be nice, and I'll like it. So I have my medium ground kind of area where I'm running at.
But you'd be surprised how many people spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm not naming the thousands because I'm not going to give fail promotion for those of you who do, but people do spend a lot of money for like when in reality, maybe 10 frames better. I'm not kidding. I'm really not. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like for 10 better frames.
Or you're spending this much money so you can run in the hundreds of frames. 100 something, 200 something,
which becomes indistinguishable to the eye.
Exactly.
To
yeah.
be honest.
No, it is. And
it is. It
take
really
it from
is.
someone who spent a lot of money on their rig. I mean,
I only barely see a difference between 60 and 144.
Yeah,
it's that range where it's like it's okay, fine. Yeah, you're getting an edge in certain competitive games or whatever, but you don't need to be like losing your mind over this. And then on top of this, PC. Part of the reason why it's such an appealing way of gaming is because you save money because you don't have to upgrade for so and so many years. If you're upgrading every year, you're wasting money. That's how I look at it. You don't need to spend $450 on a fucking graphics card every year because that's kind of a waste. It defies the point. Console gamers are laughing at you because they have their console and they only buy games for it, and it's been like 6 or 7 years, and they hold on to that, and that's fine. So for a value, you got to think about where you're going with it.
I know. I was on a forum the other day, and some guy was like, "I'm running an i5 2600K, which is like, I think like 5 generations old, with a GTX 660." I was like, "Wow,
that's rough.
That's
like Heroes of the Storm, like kind of like mediocre, kind of like World of Warcraft. Like you can running some popular games, but you're not going to be touching Witcher 3. You're not going to be touching Metro."
And then you have the converse. The people who are like, I mean, I bought the 970 last year. I'm going to get the 1070 this year because whatever.
You might as well. Yeah, you could chase that line.
Yeah.
But you're still running things pretty relatively well. So it's just you have to decide a goal in mind for what your gaming is.
Yeah.
But if you have the money, by all means. If money is not an option to you, get everything. Put 2 or 3 1080s in your thing and run that shit.
SLI 1080
just
Ti's.
Destroy it.
Yeah, just
exactly. Oh, 3 monitors? Oh yeah, let me run those 3 monitors and have that
in full
ultra wide
G-Sync.
field of view, kind of like exactly. Go ham if you can. But if you're trying to save $1 or $2, you might as well think about it.
Yeah, no, and I think that's where AMD is coming up with, because now we also have the AMD Vega, which is their response to pretty much, I think it's like what the Pascal architecture that NVIDIA has sat on for a while. And the thing with, and we spoke about this before the podcast, but AMD has always been that type of like, you're getting more bang for your buck when it comes to features and performance.
Right.
But performance on paper.
Exactly.
For some odd reason.
With GeForce, it feels safer. It's a safer bet. It's like, people are going with these, so it's like, you might as well go with the popular one because it's like, there's more, I guess, data available that people are running these cards and, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
With AMD, it's like, okay, you know what? I need to be able to run these games for a budget.
Yeah.
So it's a good. It just depends on what you
want.
want.
I want to clarify this because we are not either Intel fanboys or AMD fanboys. Because I ran a rig for a long time with a Radeon graphics card. And right now Betty Zio is running that same rig with that same Radeon card.
Me, I'm mixed.
You're still running. Yeah, you're running.
I've got
the
GeForce
970
the card, and then I've got the AMD chip.
Yeah, which is a fantastic. I think it's like 8 cores with a 4.0 gigabyte.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic card.
Good, yeah.
So we're just trying to alienate the idea that Intel does charge a premium on their products, for whatever reason it is, and now AMD's kind of like coming back at them and saying this is our attack, and it's Vega.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that the cards are starting at $399, and they can go up to like I think maybe $700, and that's their response to the.
But I also want to see how these chips perform, and the GPUs just if they end up living up to their name on paper and everything, then that's fine. You can jump in on that.
Yeah. That's something that's we're gonna have to wait and see where the graphics card market is. With that said,
you might want to hold off
on that, and then do exactly what I told you before, what Mike does, and what everyone else that I know, kind of get just gameplays, see how people are reacting to this, and then
check out reviews. Obviously. Do your research. Yeah.
Also check out cooling. I know that AMD tends.
You might want to wait a while though, because the pricing is is in a situation.
So our next topic is going to be right on this point. For anybody who's in the market to buy a graphics card, it may be a good time to wait.
Yes.
Just give it a little bit of time. If you actually go on right now, NVIDIA cards are still on the market. You can find them, but they're at a premium. I think about maybe like 10 to 20% more expensive, if not more. I know like right now an R9 380, and I'm using that as an example. I bought it for like $250. I think on Amazon it was like over $300.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that.
The reason is that, and conversely, there's like almost like no AMD graphics cards available on Amazon. I went to Best Buy; the shelves are wiped out. The thing is that we're actually seeing a renaissance, you can say, of cryptocurrency. We know Bitcoins has been a big thing for
I'm not
decades.
like super familiar on like how all this stuff works.
This is not necessarily Bitcoin now. Now we're looking at this currency. It's called Ethereum, and it supposedly, I guess, the mining of that works really strongly with GPUs.
Sounds like something that belongs
Bitcoin
in
has
Destiny.
kind of like Bitcoin's moved out of. Hey, like I just got like 20, like Ethereum points.
Exactly. I gotta fill up. I hit the Ethereum cap.
Yeah. It sounds like a microtransaction thing you buy.
Right? Yeah, there you go. Like
silver. For like 99 cents, you get 100 Ethereum. So what ends up happening is that now we are seeing a large community of miners that use these GPUs. They're kind of just like stocking up on them.
Yeah.
And it's become pretty much like a supply and demand problem for people who are legitimately buying graphics cards for their
gaming,
their game. Yeah, for whatever purpose, to build monitor systems or. So in reaction to this, AMD has actually released their plan to protect gamers who want to buy graphics cards for gaming. And that is, they're kind of like packaging the new Vegas that are coming out with incentives to buy monitors and motherboards. And I guess the idea there is that if you pay a little bit more, you get a monitor and a motherboard at a huge discount. Kind of shying away from
exactly who are just buying them in bulk because they don't need a motherboard or a monitor, so it's like they're gonna try and just get the card or whatever.
Isn't this insane though?
It is. It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy. It's like almost as crazy as World of
I'm
Warcraft.
Just glad I'm not
currency.
In the market. Yeah. I'm not in the market. I'm glad I'm not, because then I would be kind of almost furious that I wouldn't be able to get my hands on something, or that I'd have to wait to make the price go back down to the what I was willing to pay for, because you're trying to save money when you're trying to upgrade. So it's like I don't know.
Just look at it this way. I was on a forum earlier today looking at just like the updated information about pricing and selling for graphics cards, and some guy sold an RX 480 for $400. That's roughly a $300 card at most on a huge premium. So just give that a thought. Just don't buy a graphics card at the moment unless you're certain that you're buying at MSRP.
Right.
You know.
The worst thing is that those are legitimate purchases. Like if they're going to use it for Bitcoin or whatever the crap, it's fine. It's like you could just stop it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. So it's not necessarily like a moral thing or an ethical thing or whatever.
It's just the fact that now you have one community of people who use graphics cards who have now a profitable business of this, because you see that's how they justify these thousands and $1,000 purchases.
Because they're going to be making money.
Because they're making money off of it.
Yeah.
Whereas gamers are using it for entertainment, recreation. I doubt most streamers who stream games are like dying over the fact they don't have the latest graphics card. Most people, they've already paid the premium for that to get it. It's just really like people like you and I, who
it's like people
want to go to Best
up,
Buy and buy a graphics card.
It's like people who buy up a bunch of the new consoles or whatever, and then they kind of like, because of the supply and demand, they price gouge and they sell them on like eBay and things like that. And people are going to go around to that. Yeah, the Switch, yeah. So it's like they can buy those things and they can do those things, but it's just they're kind of assholes about it.
So, but it's interesting to see a card manufacturer.
The thing I'm wondering is if when this dies down, are we going to see lower prices for graphics cards? Or is there going to be an opportunity to get some stuff on sale?
That's the thing. A lot of
when it comes back the
a
other
lot
way.
of people say that if you want discounted graphics cards, they might not be in the best condition. Okay, it's kind of like going to like a when police stations have like their
police auctions,
stuff like that. I mean, the cars are used up, they've been fixed, they've been banged up, but you get them at a pretty good discount.
Used up is an understatement. They have like over 100,000 miles sometimes.
Well, okay, but that's what we're talking about. These graphics cards have been working day in, day out on the entire time, and they are most definitely most of the times overclocked.
Yeah.
But you could probably get them at a discount. Will the graphics card last you for its its expected life? I don't know.
Sure, it could be a stopgap though.
You could win the what they call it, the Silicon Lottery, and get like the best graphics card on the market. It's been run like day in, day out, and it still runs a good year or two. You know, you never know. But I do think that you'll probably find some discounts of all these miners who maybe kind of did their thing, they're done with it, and they just have like hundreds of 1080s just sitting around doing nothing.
God. They could
if there's dead stock, then eventually they'll have to drop the price.
Yeah,
right.
And the great part is that usually the graphics cards, the fluctuation in price happens like daily. I'm not kidding. It's that crazy. It's just where you could buy a graphics card one day and then the next day it's like $20 cheaper for no reason. Just demand did not exceed supply. Okay, so we've got that. We will actually, I want to keep you guys updated on that, so we'll probably be jumping on that a few times in the next coming episodes. Now, you guys are probably dying to talk about this because it's the most ridiculous story come out of this week, but Rockstar is in another lawsuit. This time Lindsay Lohan is not part of it. It's a group of psychics.
Yeah, so I was looking at it's Psychic Readers Network.
It's as if Rockstar wrote their own story.
You think they would have seen this coming, though?
Hey!
Oh my God, you really
all right,
just
I'm
did
leaving.
that.
See you guys.
Yeah, I'm done. Sorry, Mono. You're on your own.
So, what was going on, Mike?
Okay, so it looks like they're getting sued for the likeness of one of the characters in the game. It's a psychic. I think the name is Auntie Paulette.
In the game, yes.
Yes.
Now, which game exactly is this?
This is Vice City. This is Grand Theft
Came
Auto
out
Vice
like
City.
in
That's the kicker.
2002?
Yeah.
2002.
2002.
Jesus.
So it seems that
It's only 15 years old.
this group holds the rights to Miss Cleo's. Everyone knows Miss Cleo. Everyone remembers the
Hello,
commercials.
I'm Miss Cleo.
Yeah,
I tell your future.
Man, that's
that's a throwback. Yeah. It's just ages ago. It's just like, so she was in the game. She did the voice for the character that they're claiming.
Yeah.
But because I think she died last year,
Yes.
they're taking advantage of the fact that they had the rights to her likeness and everything, and they're trying to see if they can probably make a quick buck on it.
Suing.
They're claiming they spent $100 million creating and promoting Miss Cleo, blah blah blah, and that Rockstar has made more than 5 times that amount exploiting the character without their permission.
Exploiting.
Yeah.
Because,
So this is the weird thing: is that
15 years they waited on
part
this.
Is that Miss Cleo voiced the character that they're talking about? So
I mean,
it's
you can tell that she never had a problem with it because she was alive for
who
14,
knows how long? Yeah,
14 years since it's been out, and then the moment she dies, they're like, all right, let's get this fucking lawsuit together.
exactly. So it's just one of those things where it's like a money grab. It's like a greedy little.
Can
thing.
you even argue, everything aside, the whole parody thing aside, everything aside, can you even argue that like her likeness was tarnished in any way? Like, can you argue that
No,
like
I don't think that's
like,
the case.
Tarnished.
I think it's more
like
more
just
on
like
the angle of
use?
that they
Right.
made money with the likeness
But
of the
she
character.
made money.
She made money. Of course she did.
Yeah. She agreed to that
Yes.
money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if she had any problem
She
with it
voiced
at the
the
time,
character. Come on.
Yeah.
yeah, if she had any problem with it at the time, she wouldn't have agreed to do the character, or they would have asked to change the look of
Exactly.
the character, whatever. So it's one of those overblown,
Or she would have,
insane things.
at
that
one point in
happens.
14 years, decided that she wanted to sue them herself.
Exactly.
This is like right now if Ford came out and said, you know what, we just realized that in Vice City you used a car that looks kind of like the Mustang. We're gonna have to sue you for making money off of a
Right.
car. What the rodeo? Like it looks
Yeah.
like it looks like the Ford F-150 here. What's the problem we got
Yeah.
here?
Or whatever studio was that came out with Scarface is like, hey, you know what? Your game seems kind of loosely based on our movie guy.
I mean, it's got drugs in it. It's got
Miami, the 70s.
Drugs.
Yeah, no, the 80s, excuse me.
80s.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's got the name of a show. Why didn't the people in the show like say like, hey, you're kind of using
Right.
like the name of the show? But yet these psychics are the ones that think that they're the ones that have
For
been
being clairvoyant, it sure took them a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
15 years.
Those signals.
So yeah, it's just overblown like the Lindsay Lohan thing, where she tried to get money because she thought that one of the characters was a likeness of her.
Yeah, loading
From-
screen girl in the bikini. That looks nothing like her.
GTA 5, and it's just like I don't know. She doesn't look like she's on drugs. The character
Ouch.
that she's claiming. So I don't know. I don't get it. I
Get
just
torched, Lindsay Lohan.
it's
Apply
easy to
cold water
torch.
to the burnt
It's
area.
really easy to torch.
Really
the-
timely joke, too.
of course. But yeah, no, it's just I don't know. I think it's ridiculous, and it's gonna get thrown out like the other one at some point. So we'll probably hear more about this later on.
You know who wins in all of this? The lawyers, man. They're getting paid
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
money.
You're right, yeah.
And I can just imagine the firms being like, "Hey guys, we've got another
Got another
failed
one. Yeah,
case,
it's like,
but
let's
it's
do
okay
this.
because we're getting paid."
I'm sure Rockstar will get a little bump from this, too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because
Like,
just
oh
with...
shit! I want to play Vice
I was
City.
gonna say,
again.
just
Yeah.
with Vice City like being brought up again, it brought up the memories. I was like, man, I haven't played Vice City in a while. I
Yeah.
kind of want to play.
I want to
Exactly.
I want to sit in a car and snap
So
that
fun.
radio on. Like
That was, I think that's my favorite of all the Grand Theft Autos. But I'm a little bit biased because I like love Miami so much,
right.
and I love the time period.
I
and
just-
the music
that
is
was
so
just
good.
for me.
I
That
wanna
was
see
And to
another
me,
game
music
next
is
to
always such a
Miami.
big
That'd be
thing.
great.
well for me. That was the first GTA game that I truly was able to kind of get in and actually understand what I was doing.
Right,
Like
yeah.
fully understand
Yeah,
what I was doing.
GTA 3, I was still too young.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't
wait,
really-
because you're
yeah.
playing.
I remember
You're like,
GTA
eh.
3.
Yeah.
For me, Vice City was the one that I was like playing.
Vice
and I was
City,
like,
I was
okay.
already like in high school and stuff. Maybe not. Actually.
No, probably
no,
not.
2002.
No,
No,
2002.
no way.
You were
Holy
you were like
shit.
in middle school, probably.
Wait, I'm remembering playing Vice City on the PSP in high school.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I have that. Yeah,
Holy
I had-
shit!
I was blown away. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm playing this on the go.
I know. I
It's
used to play it
amazing.
in band. I used to play it in band.
That's great.
But yeah, so probably Rockstar is gonna file for dismissal of this
Oh, yeah.
case. I mean, it's meritless.
They seem kind of untouchable. It's not like that they're in the wrong or anything. It's just it's like they're
Yeah, no, it's pretty clear cut.
It's a clear cut. What?
be an
What?
L
Yeah, it's
for
just
the,
taking advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
for the
I mean,
psychics.
I don't even know what they get out of this. In the sense of even if like most people like they'll sue even to make a point. Like like don't. I don't even see that coming here. Like
They're
no one's gonna
I
be
think
on their
They're
side.
just throwing it out there just to
Yeah,
see if
to
it
see
sticks.
if it yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They have control of her estate now, and they just want to see if they can capitalize.
this is kind of like those. This reminds me of those lawsuits of against critics. That's kind of been a thing coming up
Right.
for the past
Yeah.
like 2 years. Like a game will come out. It's like the worst game ever.
yeah.
And a critic will pretty much be honest about it and say this game sucks,
Mhm.
and they'll obviously file.
They'll think it's
Civil
libel or
for-
slander or whatever. the
yeah,
hell.
defamation.
Well, there was
Yeah,
one
something
game,
like
and I don't want to detour too much, but this actually was pretty interesting. There was one game that was developed in Germany, got released, and
Mhm.
people on Steam were commenting saying like it sucked. And they actually released a letter saying that they were going to like threaten for defamation and something like that.
the commenters.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, and then this was just to kind of give like a little credit to this. I got this from the No. It's a YouTube channel that pretty much releases gaming information, and they're great at that. But their comment was hilarious. They were pretty much like, "That's great, like your fan base, you're threatening to sue your fan base,
Yeah.
instead of just I don't know, maybe fixing the game,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is also like that Jim Sterling thing where he got sued for that game, that garbage looking game.
garbage. I remember that
Digital
one.
Homicide, I think, is the name of the
Catchy.
game or the people.
Catchy.
Digital homicide.
And the thing is that he deals a lot with this stuff because he likes to look at like crappy games on Steam, and he kind of seems to himself as a champion of justice of sorting through the garbage on Steam and the workshop and all that, the green light stuff. Because there are people that grab assets from game engines, free game engines,
Right.
flip them and put them into some kind of really crappy game, and then try and settle on Steam to take advantage and try and make a quick buck or whatever. And there's hundreds of crappy games that people do this stuff with. That's a huge issue, but that's another topic for another day.
That's actually a fantastic topic.
Yeah.
Like we should like maybe like in the upcoming episodes, like just
Gaming
like
gripes.
Gaming gripes. In addition to, we can kind of like maybe like the foundation of that episode would be like us bringing in like the worst game that we found on Steam.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like,
we could all
like
a
go
pet
in,
project.
go in, and your job is one job: find the worst game you don't have
possibly
that you can possibly find, like the worst game, and then bring it in and just kind of like go ham.
PlayStation's having a problem with this too. I was actually looking.
We could have like a little competition, see who has the worst game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of Life of Black Tiger.
Oh my god, that game
Promoted on the
horrible.
PlayStation page. The trailer for this game came out.
Ryan, have you seen this?
I think I heard of this.
You need to look into this.
horrible.
Yeah, we can look at this up after the podcast. We don't want to bring it up right now, but because we'll come back.
Please
with
tell
it.
the audience how to find like just like what's the name of the
Just
game?
go to the PlayStation YouTube channel and type in Life of Black Tiger. It's still up.
Life
The trailer's
of Black
still in there.
Tiger.
It
The
looks like it
grammar's
was
bad.
yeah.
The gameplay's garbage.
Uh.
It's just unfathomable that it made it onto that. When it was
Right.
on the PlayStation Store. Great shit.
And it's not like room bad. It's like bad. Like
No.
it's not like you can play the
Room
game.
is bad.
No,
Let's
room.
not
The room
get
is
into
not
this.
bad. It's not bad.
Let's not get into this.
The room is
Something cannot be so bad that it's good. I will argue that until the day that I die.
But that's literally,
Whatever.
It
Let's
doesn't
not
cease to be bad.
stop. We're going down a dark hole here.
I love how he got
Makes
like
some
this is
weird
intense discussion.
transformation into being
I love
good.
how he got the saying "it's so bad it's good" and rephrased it to
Yeah.
like be like
No.
things cannot be so bad.
Yeah,
that they're
you
good.
can't. Yeah, you can't just go down the rabbit hole of badness
know what, Ryan?
and then eventually come out the other. It's not like digging through the middle of the earth and eventually you come out the other side.
You know what, Ryan? We'll agree to disagree.
Yes,
There you
we will.
But yeah. So with that saying, that game sucks. Like
Absolutely.
that is like Ryan bad. Like what he thinks the room is bad, that game is like
Oh.
bad.
I thought you were taking a jab at me. I was like, oh, it's getting personal now.
I think he means your standard.
My
of
definition
Yeah,
of
the
bad.
standard of
Definition
bad. The
It
standard
just
of
reached a
bad.
new depth of bad.
Yeah.
You know what? Like if I could only get a reaction of him watching like the video, it would be hilarious because he would be like, "Wait a minute, was this developed like in the 90s?" And even then, like Mike said, like
We can put that up on Twitter or something later.
that would be
My
so
react.
funny. Okay, so then after that, we're getting Mike back into esports.
Okay, so I was thinking to myself, with the streaming and watching Betty play Until Dawn and stuff like that, I'm thinking, I haven't watched as much games as I used to in a way, as
Right.
far as esports. So I was trying to get myself back into it. I was thinking, let me think about a couple games and look at some schedules for pro games and watch them. So basically, I thought Heroes, I thought Rainbow Six, and I thought StarCraft. Dota, I didn't think of, right? But I got sidetracked because it's a certain time of the year currently. So I watched a bit of Rainbow, and I'm thinking to myself, I know how the game plays, I know how I enjoy it, but how did they cast this game, and what's it like watching? It's really intense, and I think I'm going to get into Rainbow Six. I'm going to start watching their Pro League, and we got Gamescom coming up in Germany, and they're going to have a lot of tournaments for certain games, and Rainbow Six is going to be one of them. So I'm going to try and pay attention to that.
So will you be like
get
our
into it, start
esport
following teams.
ambassador? Because
It'd be
There
kind of
you
cool to have a section on that.
I can only like watch one game on esport, and that's like it used to be H1Z1, now it's Battlegrounds. And that's
Right.
it. After that, I'm like,
Right, yeah, because everyone has their own flavor of what they want to
Yeah.
get into. And I stumbled upon Dota 2 again. So I have a history with Dota. And
Stumbled upon.
again.
I stumbled upon this massive, juggernaut.
So from 2013 to 2015, every single year I watched the International. I paid the $10 to get the compendium, which contributes to the prize pool. So basically, it's like a little
Commitment.
prediction book thing where you get it in the game and you get to pick your favorite team, your heroes,
So it's like
and
Dota
make predictions.
fantasy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's a fantasy thing.
Yeah.
And so it's a fun way of having people because you get items too. You get cosmetic items and things like that based on how many points you get in filling up the book, and it levels up. Then they added stretch goals, I think, to one of the other years previously, where depending on how many people bought it, they'd add certain things to the game, like new characters or new stories. They'll do a comic or whatever. So it's a really cool way of contributing it to the prize pool and adding to the excitement for it. I just happened to watch a couple games, and I realized how much I miss watching that game. I don't play that much Dota. I barely play any
You watch
Dota
it.
at all, but it's really fun to watch
Yeah.
for some reason for me.
It is. I don't play PC,
Mhm.
but watching Dota is a lot of fun. It's all right. So as someone who doesn't play, when you first start watching it, it can be a little bit difficult to kind of
It's very overwhelming.
see what's going on because it's a lot.
It's
take
very
in.
fast
There's a lot of
paced
things
at
going
times.
on.
Yeah,
But once you get it, it's really, really cool. That's fun to watch.
Do you think it's hard for like maybe somebody who doesn't play it at all to like?
Well,
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Because you didn't play it at all.
I don't play it
at all.
No.
And how long did it take you to kind of get into it? Because
All right.
matches?
Well, it took me a few matches to
Mhm.
kind of get the hang of what was going on. This was before I had ever played Smite or any sort of MOBA on my own.
Got it.
So I had to learn what MOBAs were. I
Right.
had to learn what was
so
going
you
on.
so you came in.
Oh, another
vanilla.
cool
I came
thing-
in- yeah. super
Another
fresh,
cool thing
right
that I
off the street.
remembered,
Wow.
they had. I'm not sure if they still do it, but there's a separate stream that they used to have where it's like a learner stream. So they have people commenting on the game while explaining certain concepts for newer people when
Yeah.
they came in. So the concept of the towers, what certain heroes do,
Yeah.
things like that. So if you wanted to, you could watch games on that stream as opposed to like the normal straight. Everybody kind of assume what you know what you're talking about when
So
you
they
get
got
into
the
the game.
tutorial stream.
Exactly.
It actually got
Which
to
is
the
really
point where
cool.
I started to
Like-
learn the heroes and stuff really well. Like I haven't watched it in a while,
Right.
So I'm probably a little bit
But you probably remember a
rusty
couple
on
things
it. But yeah, I
depending on-
started to learn the heroes and their abilities and the items and what they do so much to the point where I even got
So-
a shirt with one of the heroes on it.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I
you
remember
could
that,
like
yeah.
hold a
Where-
full conversation with people.
He has a
about,
Dota 2
like,
mug.
Dota 2.
Yeah, I have a Dota 2
And they're
mug.
like, wow, like how often do you play? Like, I don't play.
I'm the last.
'Cause you can be a fan
Michael
of
tell
something,
you.
it doesn't matter.
No, you're absolutely right.
Michael tell you I'm the last person because as self-conscious as I am, like I really like Overwatch's art. I really love their
Yeah,
heroes
no,
and
I
stuff
was
like
going to mention that.
But I won't buy any of their stuff because I don't want somebody
You
to
feel
be
like
like,
you're
oh,
not a
Overwatch,
fan.
and I feel like a faker because I've never played. You know what I mean? But with Dota, like
you watched
it's almost
enough.
like I didn't even
Yeah.
see it that way. I saw it almost as an esport, like it is.
Right,
I
yeah.
saw it like a sport, so it was almost like buying a team shirt.
Mhm.
for
Yeah,
the
like
night, you know what I mean?
the other.
So I have a
week-
Naga Siren.
Yeah, there you go.
uh,
Naga Science,
t-shirt.
the shit.
And I have a Dota 2 mug, and I didn't. It didn't. There was no conflict in my brain as to whether I should get it because I would feel like some faker or
No,
whatever. I
because
just
you're
thought it was
part of the
cool.
community.
Yeah.
As an audience of the esport.
Yeah.
So the other week I wore my Cloud9 T-shirt, and unfortunately for me, Cloud9 is doing pretty bad. They're in the losers bracket currently because I think today they released, or it was yesterday because of the results of the group stage. They have the main bracket set for the main tournament. So there's the top bracket and then the losers bracket, and then it just works its way towards the grand finals. So all the matches are best of 3. So they'll play 3 full games to determine the winner. Like obviously, if you win 2, you win the series, you move on. But the grand finals is best of 5. So you could be sitting there. It's like almost the whole day you're watching the grand finals go through. And the part of the reason is that for esports, this is my Super Bowl. This is like it gets me excited to see. I don't care, if I'm not a fan of a certain team or whatever. I just want to see what the result is. I want to see people playing at their best.
Yeah, the international is pretty crazy.
And the reason why is because there's so much money involved.
Okay, what was that match that went on for like over 2 hours the other day? That
Yeah,
we were
there was
watching?
a match that
was
went
insane
for about 2
2
hours. I
hours?
watched the tail
Yes.
end of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, we
I
caught
caught
it
it
at
at
the
the
end, and he was like, "Dude, I was playing something on my PS4, and he tells me, hey, turn around, look at
the time.
Like the
On
ticker
this game.
was like super high.
and
Yeah.
it was over.
It was like 2 hours,
Wow.
12 minutes, something like that.
crazy.
And then I looked up the record. The record for longest competitive Dota game is around 3 hours, 20 minutes.
Imagine that.
And the thing is that it gets so much where it's a mental game because people are getting items, and then eventually you have all the items you need, your max level. The problem is that once you go in and you commit to a fight, if you lose heroes, you lose them because the cooldown is like a minute,
especially
or
late
something.
game.
You lose people.
Yeah.
Especially late game.
And then late game, so with Dota, you have this thing where it's a buyback. If you have enough gold, you could buy back into the game. You could bypass the cooldown
The respawn
and
time.
jump back in.
Just get
You
right
just
back
jump.
in.
Yeah, you resurrect yourself essentially, and you jump back into the fight. So it creates a level of strategy for how the game is played, and momentum swings are insane in that game. It's the most fun I've had watching anything. So I'm trying to get back into that, and I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and also since you're kind of jumping into that, give us an idea, maybe like next episode or whenever you feel like you've got a grasp of it. Which one is the one that you obviously have this thing with Dota 2, but like of the other ones, like which one you feel has the best potential to become like another esport phenomena? Because like they are
it's tough.
there, but like
We will have an opportunity to see Battlegrounds in.
yeah,
That's
'Cause
gonna
they
be
have
cool.
that Gamescom
That's
Invitational they're
definitely-
going
I'm
with.
looking forward to that.
I want to look
for
forward
sure.
to watching that, see how that plays out, how they rank people, who goes to win.
Yeah.
I
still think that
goes with.
Battlegrounds, it's a fantastic mode to watch as an esport. I
Yeah.
just think that it needs a better cam view.
I'm really interested
That's
in
the part that's
'Cause I
interesting.
I'm
don't-
really interested
Yeah.
in seeing how the spectating works, how they cast the game. Like,
Yeah.
are they gonna have 2 people talking over it?
That's what's going to make or break it, really.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then the thing is with the game directors. So basically, it's the guy behind the scenes with Dota. there's a guy controlling the camera. There's a guy who's like, I'm
it's
switching to this, I'm switching to that. I see action coming up over here. Let me move over there.
It's a director just like any other broadcast.
Exactly. So, you have that person working on that, and it's really good for Dota because Valve has spent so much time upgrading and updating that game that the spectator tools and everything like that is very well done. It's tough because it's early access so far for Battlegrounds, so we need to see how it evolves and goes forward.
Yeah.
You think we expect to see any people wearing long white coats?
I have no idea. We'll see how it goes.
Can you imagine running down the field?
Oh my
God.
God.
Wearing their recently opened crates.
I would love that, dude.
So with me, I play more Heroes than I play Dota.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to get into watching Heroes, and it's just, for me, I don't know why, but it's more boring to watch than to play.
Because it's more watered down, maybe. Dota's a little more complex.
Dota is more complex, but it's also more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the pacing from what I've
It's different,
and
I can't get myself into necessarily to watching Heroes, so it's unfortunate for me. But I'm gonna probably be jumping back on StarCraft 2 because I used to watch a lot of StarCraft 2. That's more of a 1v1 situation.
You know what else?
Yeah, South Korea is insane with StarCraft.
You know what I used to watch a lot when I was in college, and I used to sit down and just stare at it. Hearthstone. I would just sit there.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's more of a mental thing.
Because you can see
you know what?
You can see the battles. The battle. It's going on in front of you, and you can see it.
I love playing it.
I understand that.
But watching it, I don't know.
It's interesting.
Watching is interesting.
It's interesting.
People have their decks.
It's
and
not.
It's not.
I guess if you want to see the way people think and how they strategize,
and you see people
stuff
make the worst mistakes, and you're like, no, why'd you pop that now?
Right.
And people think turns ahead. It's I need to get this card in order to set up my strategy. But if he has this and this or this, that I need to do with this first, And the people on stream will talk about it. I used to watch a little bit, but I soured on the game. That's how I
got into it.
I've soured on the game so much that I don't play anymore.
Well, that's the thing. I can't play that game because I feel like when I play the game, I'm like a kindergartner.
I don't have the cards I need.
I get stomped on immediately, and people are like, "Oh, you just keep on playing." I'm like, "No, I don't want to.
I don't want to put the time into
it. It got for
a year before
it got pay to win really quickly.
Yeah, I feel like that was
so. It was really fun early on, and then people just started pouring money into it, and then you couldn't compete.
So it is still a very popular game on Twitch.
But for me, it's interesting to watch those who have committed the resources to get the top tier cards and whatever to kind of battle it out and see how they do it. Right. I mean, that's just my thing.
Yeah. So I found myself with when it comes to Twitch, it's more of an event thing for me. Mm-hmm. Watching an esports tournament, something like that comes up when it's as opposed to watching a single person, a personality, someone just playing games, either competitively or just for fun. I lean more towards the spectacle of it, because Blizzard especially, they set up tournaments so that there's seasons throughout the year, and then it culminates in BlizzCon, where they physically have everybody there for the grand finals or whatever of a tournament. So when coming back to Dota real quick before we move on, so I skipped a year, 2016. I didn't watch the international, and since then the prize pool is insane. So first place gets just over $10 million. That's a team of 5.
Crazy, man.
And I don't know how they split it, how much percentage they get itself. But that's how much it's changed since then. In just 2 years, it's doubled.
That what you're saying is that let's see how it is in 2 years then from now.
Exactly. It just it seems to keep growing. It doesn't seem to stop at all. Yeah. The prize pool keeps growing.
You see, and for me, call me a prize getter, but when the pool's higher, for me, it gets even more interesting.
Exactly.
Now,
of course.
For me now, I'm like, I was watching the H1Z1 one, and the pool was 300,000. I was like, oh, that's great, but okay. I mean, it's good, but you can't.
The higher the stakes,
$10 million. Oh man, I'm buying popcorn,
intriguing.
Getting wine. I'm sitting down. I'm watching this because I want to see who gets that.
Popcorn and wine. What the?
Hey,
that's interesting. What about beer and candy?
Yeah.
No, man. No.
Yeah.
That's my thing. M&Ms and beer.
All right, wine,
M&Ms
cheese and
and
crackers,
pizza.
something like
And
that.
pizza.
I'm telling you,
popcorn and Skittles.
Popcorn and Skittles.
I'm gonna slap you right in the mouth.
It's so good. Great decisions.
So wait,
here.
All right, you can put popcorn with M&Ms in it, or popcorn with Reese's Pieces, but Skittles
is
weird.
shit.
I can totally see it. I can totally see it. So yeah, it's instead of you're going with a chocolate, you're going more candy. Yeah, I get that.
I know, but you go.
We enjoy things,
but Skittles can sometimes be sour and salty.
Well, sour Skittles suck.
Sour and salty.
No,
that's weird. You can't.
No,
mix that.
I don't. No, I'm a huge sweet and sour though.
Okay, so going back to the esports thing, but that's why I like watching Dota so much, is because the stakes are high. It's what made 2016 so good. Because you have the team Evil Geniuses, the North American team, and they made it to the top.
That's what was. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's what was cool for me is that getting in is that since there can be so many teams, you don't necessarily know who you want to root for because it's not like there's a Miami.
Yeah, so
team.
you pick,
were born
exactly.
here, so you like one. But I had a built-in rooting interest because Evil Geniuses, they're the American team. Cool, I can root for them.
Exactly.
So I had.
So for me, I have
interest.
a couple of vested
you're rooting
interests.
for by affiliation. You're saying,
exactly.
I'm a United States person.
So since it's an international tournament, you can be like, okay, I root for the American.
I totally
team.
get that. Yeah,
So
I
for
totally
me,
get that.
it's like I like the North American team. I like Cloud9 because I saw a couple of their games. I like the way their strategy played out. Some of their players, they were cool. I like the way who they picked to play or whatever. For easily arbitrary reason, there was one guy. He goes by the name of Burning, Chinese player. He had an avatar picture.
I remember Burning.
He had an avatar picture for an anime a lot I liked. I was like, oh, that guy's cool. Let me see how he plays. Turns out, I really like his play style. He plays hard carry. He does a lot of kills.
Him,
I stuck with him. I don't necessarily want his team to win because he's on a different team. I think it's Invictus Gaming or something. I have to follow it again because I've been out of practice, or whatever, on paying attention to the whole scene and everything. But now I like LGD, a Chinese team. I wasn't so much of a fan of them before, but they do very well, and I like following that. So I have a couple of vested interests, going throughout.
Do you think that like pushing
so I don't know who's
a
gonna
more maybe pushing a more regional type of like sport would maybe spike more interest?
Well, absolutely. I think you
Yeah.
you can still have the international, but then you can have
we could treat
national.
That's the
tournaments.
thing. We can
nationals would be-
have how like the Olympics, how we have like an
Exactly.
all-star team
Right.
Exactly.
of like LeBron. Well, back in the day, you have like the
exactly the
and
dream
then-
team.
Yeah, you'd send
Mhm.
those warriors to fight, and
Yeah.
you're sending like the best of the
what
best.
was this thing that they did? Was it last year that they did it for the first time, or the year before, where they had an all-star game, to where it was?
can't remember.
Do you remember that? Where it was like the all-stars from it was like best players from certain teams.
Oh, you know
And
what?
they
Yeah, I think
kinda
I know what you mean.
mixed
Can you
in.
imagine?
Yeah, I think they'd have that something like that with Dota as well.
That's
That's what it
I'm
is.
talking
Yeah,
about, Dota.
compendium. So the compendium, one of the things is selection is who do you want to be in the All-Star game. So you pick your favorite
Mhm.
players and then mixes them together. So it's a 5v5,
Mhm.
and
Think
they
about
just kind
that.
of have fun or whatever.
That's cool.
Actually, 2016, the year that I watched, they released. I think it was 2016 or 15. They released a character at the end, and they revealed him, and then they had someone play him on the team on that for the All-Star game just to fuck around and to have it be a fun community-driven thing.
Right.
Admittedly, some of the casting is cringy because you have some of the interviewers jumping in and talking to them while they're playing the game.
That's
It's a little weird.
That's the one thing gaming
It's some strange-
fails at. We
It's
suck.
some parts are like that. Yeah. So I was watching Rainbow Six. That was weird for me because I was trying to get into the game, but these guys talking, they were a little awkward or weird. So it's kind of tough to follow. So
Yeah,
I want
that-
to see.
that-
I want to
yeah.
give it more of a chance.
That's the one thing.
That tends to be
Yeah,
problematic.
that's the one thing with gaming that I really have felt like presentation has always been like there have been some high points and then some very bad points.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
so I wanted to go
A
back
lot
because
of
I
the
didn't get
esports
to
athletes
mention
can
it.
be pretty cringy.
Cringy,
Yeah, to
and
them.
it's not only that. Like even in
Dota has its own thing.
it's not only
yeah,
like
a little
even
bit.
E3, for example, one of the highlights
Oh,
people look
God,
for is
yeah.
this cringy keynote
Yeah.
speakers. So you're just like,
Jamie Kennedy.
why is this a
Yeah, Kennedy is
thing?
the worst.
So,
But yeah, let me go
Look
back
it
to
up
the
on YouTube.
spectacle.
It's awful.
Going back to the spectacle of Dota, it's I get to say that I was present, not present, but because some people get to say that they were there physically in the arena while they were watching it, which is nuts.
but you were
It's a
watching it
spectacle.
live.
I was watching it live. I get
Yeah.
to say that I was live watching for the $6 million Echo Slam. So I get to say that, people will recognize that, depending on when they followed it. But basically, it's the moment that it was decided that Evil Geniuses was going to win. Because they'd already won two of the games that they needed to. But it seemed that that team was coming back at that point.
Mhm.
And that was the moment that they decided, no, this game is ours.
Yeah.
We're going to win this.
Yeah.
And it's going to be over.
So, an example, like in sports, in football, you might have the catch. In basketball, you have the shot.
yeah.
Everybody always has like these, like you
Like
just
the Ray
say
Allen
that,
shot.
and people know exactly what you're talking about.
Game,
Well, the shot most people still consider to be Michael Jordan.
No, of course,
but I
yeah.
agree with you.
Well, exactly.
I think that
There's-
in my
there's
book,
our
the shot
shot,
is Ray Allen.
Ray Allen game
Game
6.
six.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yep.
god!
Yeah.
Was
in
it
the
Mike
corner.
Miller with the shoeless game?
Bosch's,
The shoeless game
The
for Mike
shoeless game
Miller.
of Mike
Yeah,
Miller. Yeah, that's great.
The one shoe three.
There you
Yeah.
go. I remember that. So you have moments, and
Yeah.
like, so that's one of my moments for Dota is that
Exactly.
it's this moment where the team is the opponent team is trying to go for this Roshan, which is like it's a big buff. You get a res for one of your
Mhm.
characters if you happen to take it down, and so they go into the pit to try and stop them, and they hit the perfect combo, which is what they set up for their team. And you could just watch a video. I might have even showed you this already, but it's just an example of like flawless teamwork deciding a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things I have as a memory for esports, and that's kind of what it's about: is watching those crazy games.
Right.
And
I
being
watched that
present
with
for
you.
that. Yeah, you did.
We need to have, and I know this episode has just been an episode full of promises for further episodes,
Yeah,
more
yeah.
topics.
Yeah.
But we should actually have a dedicated episode of because we did talk about esports and the emergence of esports and the importance that it has
Yeah.
in this day and age, but we haven't actually spoken about how colleges have been adapting
Right. Yeah.
to esports, which
Yeah,
is
the
actually
growing, like the future.
Yeah, we've
of-
kind of touched on a little bit.
a little
Talking
bit,
about
but
scholarships and
but
everything.
now we do know that, for example, I know FIU has an unofficial Overwatch team,
Right.
so they're slowly implementing it.
Yeah.
And then I'm very excited to see the point where colleges kind of see the gold at the end of the rainbow, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we should
invest
start
in this, yeah.
investing into this.
Exactly.
Scholarships for esports.
How can we
would be
exploit
crazy.
this and
Without-
not pay these
yeah.
guys either?
Without
yeah,
the NCAA on top of
Oh
it.
my god, that's a
Without
whole
the
other issue.
NCAA, good luck with that.
That's
Yeah.
a whole other issue. Yeah.
Wait, did that guy buy you a dinner?
Well, yeah, no. So my thing is, just hop in there, look into, what, if it's ESL for like Counter Strike or whatever,
Mhm.
or WCS, which is Blizzard. Just pick a game and what you enjoy watching, and enjoy it. Well, you were talking about nationals. So the way that StarCraft does theirs is there's North American, there's Asia, like Korea League mainly, and
Yeah.
then Europe. So they all have their players, and they compete throughout the year in their own respective things. But it culminates in the end of the year where the top players from those will get all pulled together, and they all play each other for the cup or the
Yeah, it's
championship.
like the ultimate game. Though.
Exactly.
Because,
So
like,
you
they're
have
all
that
fighting
element
for it.
of national stuff already, but it's just with StarCraft, it's individual players, it's not
Mhm.
teams.
Yeah, I would like to see more of like the way we have like football set up, for example. Where you have like a Miami team,
Exactly.
a Tampa
Yeah,
team,
it'd be really
Jacksonville
cool.
team.
I think
Or-
eventually we could see that.
Yeah,
to be
eventually. I think the main problem is that the infrastructure, most of these governments haven't still really bought into this idea.
Yeah.
So like
There's also the fact that there's like a million games.
that's
that's
and
tough
the
part.
games
Yeah.
are
It's constantly changing.
coming
Yeah.
out with new ones and stuff like that, so it's hard to.
keep
And you
track.
never
of
But
know
there
it.
are
which
the
one's gonna blow
mainstays.
up.
You can do it. Like
Yeah.
we talked about it before. Counter Strike still to this
Counter-Strike,
day is
constant.
enormous.
Isn't Street Fighter like a huge thing?
Street
Constant,
Fighter,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Fighting
Huge
games all
thing.
over. Yeah.
Huge thing.
Street Fighter is probably the one that's gonna stick constantly for fighting games.
Yeah. And then
So,
we also.
I mean, there's
obviously
already a
Dota.
model for it
Mhm.
to where you have a sport that's constantly evolving, literally year to year, with stuff like F1, to where the engines and the cars are always changing. The technology is always advancing, but you still have that constant sport. You have the names.
Unlike baseball, it's still has just recently
Yeah,
decided to look at
exactly.
replays.
Yeah,
'Cause,
exactly,
cameras have
exactly.
existed for
Yeah,
like
yeah,
2
exactly.
or 3 decades,
And that's why they're suffering, though.
Yeah.
You know, so but that's besides the point. But yeah,
So it's
you
hard to
have this model
follow.
in place.
Because it's
Yeah.
like, you have to decide what you're a fan of, and it changes. So Battlegrounds just exploded, so that's going to be something that it could stick. You never know.
Mhm.
It could be a mainstay now. But is it a MOBA? Is it a FPS you're playing? What is it? Is it a third person game?
Right.
Is it a sports game? It's just so many questions. And what to follow is up to you.
That's the thing that I don't think governments are ready to handle. And I say governments because those are usually the ones that like
Yeah, who's going to set the
lease
guidelines?
out, like whether
Yeah,
it be like an
exactly.
arena or whatever.
That's like when you have fighting and stuff. You have like the Nevada Gaming Commission. and all that
Exactly.
shit.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how the regulations are going to come up for whether it be like, are we going to have like 4 like national esports? Whether it be like Dota and like I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if
Or is it going to be based on genres?
Yeah, that's the thing. And then are they how you categorize them? Like, do you need a categorization for regulation? Like, you can't just be like, okay, all these
Mhm.
games fall into this category. So I think we're seeing more and more that people are giving it attention, but I don't think it's there
I mean,
yet.
$10 million first prize. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
that's
nuts.
attention.
That's why I see with like League of Legends
But
is
it's
one of
just
those ones.
a video game. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
League of Legends is one of those
Just
ones
do
that's
your life,
super
bro.
popular and like they make a lot of
Go
money.
work a 9 to 5
but
and
it's-
make $10,000.
Yeah, but League of Legends is nowhere near the numbers of Dota. But that one's also
Yeah.
really popular, and like the stakes are high for that one.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily follow because I don't know the characters, I don't know the game so much. So it's like a barrier to entry for me. That's why the MOBAs are so difficult. But
With now, just kind of like to like move and segue into our next one. Do you
Right.
think now that you have finally touched the essence of Fortnite, do you
Ooh,
do you,
buckle in.
do you think that like
Another
we're
thing I'm
seeing like a
excited to talk
new
about.
game, like, or do you think that a new game that might finally hit like the stage of like something like Battlegrounds hit? Like maybe people are like going to jump into this and be
not
like,
so much in the like the following on the esports thing. In a bit
Because I know-
more
I-
of a
because I've
Minecraft way,
seen-
I guess.
I've seen the gameplay of it, and I've seen that it's kind of like what, like a horde game. Like
Yeah, so Mike and
Yeah.
I got our hands on it recently. It's been out now about a week, right?
About a week or two.
About a week or two. Yeah, so we got our hands on it.
I was getting antsy because I needed to try it for myself because I was waiting.
Oh, I know.
One of these reviews.
I know you were getting.
Who's going to review it?
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. So we got our hands on it and we got our first impressions.
Yeah, I was wanting. I wanted IGN to
myself,
review it,
but the game is really, really fun.
It's
really
one
cool.
of those things where it's like
it's one of those things that you.
I want to play it co-op.
In.
Yeah.
Like last night, it happened to where we were playing, and it totally hit me with a sieve. With the Civilization 5.
Oh my god.
Oh, another thing
where you're there for like hours and
hours.
hours.
Mike, what time is it? He's like, holy shit, it's 3. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, it just happens.
Exactly. So
one of the
other things is that you're building a base. And it's like these are tutorial missions. And it's like early on, whatever. You're base building, whatever. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
Ryan, can we start the mission already? Can we start attacking these guys?
Nope. I am.
He was building
supplies.
constantly. He built a sniper tower. And it's like it's an easy mission. It's going to be over pretty quickly.
It's going to be over, but these are permanent changes to my base.
No, of course. So he got engulfed, and it's like I'll be like, oh, let me go over here and like, can I do something over here?
This game definitely plays to like the worst parts of my compulsiveness.
Absolutely, yeah.
To where I just need to see tree, take
Attack
down tree, see rock, take down rock. Like
so,
I have
so
to.
do you
getting
just,
like
so do you send Ryan out
resources
like
now.
as like someone just to
No,
grab
there's
materials?
there's no pooled resources.
Oh,
exactly.
So
you get your own
You got to
resources.
go do your own thing.
Yep.
So yeah.
basically,
explain the mechanics of this.
Yeah,
like, what's
so
going on?
The game drops you in, and you realize pretty early on that almost everything you see, you can take down with your pickaxe. So
and
you have
there'll
a
be some
pickaxe,
sort of resource, yeah.
and you can gain resources from things, right? So you need to get wood. So the 3 basic building blocks are wood, stone, and metal.
Okay.
Right. So if you take down a car, you'll get metal. You'll also get like nuts and bolts, and that's
or
be
mechanical
more
parts.
Exactly.
For other things.
For more specific builds. You take down a tree, you're gonna get wood. You're gonna get twine. You're gonna get different things like that. If you take down
stone, you get
stone,
ore.
You can get ore like iron ore, some
copper
ore,
coal,
different things like that, and you get stone, right? So you can make like brick structures. So you have to go out there. You have to just. All right. So it has the resource collection, similar to No Man's Sky, but this actually has a purpose. This isn't just going around collecting resources for the sake of collecting resources.
Right.
This is, I'm collecting resources because I really want to build this. And you don't, so even the weapons that you have, there's no permanence to them.
Yeah, there's durability. So you have to get
materials
to craft.
Don't fall in love with it.
No, you can. Because you have the schematic.
Because you have you gain schematics.
Yeah. So you keep on
So
rebuilding
you build it again. Yeah, it's like, I'll stick with this gun.
You need the specific items for them. So they go from really broad items, like I said, the 3 basic building blocks, to really, really specific items, or items that you would have to make from other items in order to obtain those.
Yeah, so potentially you could dismantle something that has something you need or whatever.
So
if you're not going to use it or
have to build everything from floors, walls,
roofs,
stairs, roofs.
And it's very cleverly designed where there's enough customization. It's not like you could have a blank regular wall, but then you go into an edit mode where
you can edit the wall to
you could take out the
I
door.
want a window right there, or I want a door here, or I want a short wall just waist high so I can jump over it, but the Zeds can't get in. You know what I mean?
So with the really walls, cool. Let's say it's a grid of it's 3x3?
It's 9. Yeah,
9,
it's 3x3.
So 9 tiles. So you take off the top 2 rows and you have the chest high wall.
Short wall.
Got it.
Then you could take off everything but the right side corner and the middle, and it's like a smaller, shorter wall. But if you edit it in a way where it's everything but the middle or something, you get like an arch or something.
Yeah.
With stairs, it changes up. It's a little bit more complicated.
So you can have just a straight up, pretty much just a ramp.
A ramp?
Straight up.
Or a staircase.
Or a staircase
right
where you
side.
can actually get it to turn.
Exactly.
So you have like a flight.
Like a spiral.
Like
exactly.
It goes up and then it goes up again.
And what's interesting is the game, so the tutorial teaches you, but it teaches you like the basics.
Exactly.
So it doesn't really hold
you
your
kind
hands.
of figure
so when you figure it out,
you're like,
there's
oh
a
shit,
sense of accomplishment. And it's like
I figured it out.
Look at this fucking staircase I made.
Yeah, it's like it adds
really
to the depth of the game
Yeah.
too. It's like, oh wait, now this means that I can do this, this, and this, building my base. So if I had an idea,
resource collection like No Man's Sky. It has base building and creation like Minecraft, and then you still.
I'm sure you'll see a lot of different things with Minecraft.
The horde mode of all the things trying to attack whatever the objective may be, whether it's your base or whether it's something that you built stuff around to protect.
And a ton of different varied enemies.
Yes.
And weapon types or whatever.
Really cool. They're not just basic like zombies, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people they have zombie fatigue already. Everything is zombies and they're tired of seeing
of course.
it. So I wouldn't necessarily say that they're zombies.
And it's quirky and it's cool. Like the characters are cool. You'll see
more like
an entry.
And,
Yeah, you'll
stuff
see
like
like
that.
an
It's
entry cutscene.
like the
we get
zombies
introduced
from,
to the world
Plants,
or whatever.
Plants vs Zombies, like that.
Yeah,
that-
more
Exactly.
like
It's kinda goofy or whatever,
They're
yeah.
goofy. They're funny,
the
but
art
they
style is great.
got it.
The art style is great. It's sort of like that cartoonish art style.
It leans more towards Team Fortress for me.
yes,
when it comes to
very reminiscent of Team Fortress for
So
sure.
once you've got your base build, I'm assuming that's like always an ongoing process.
Yeah, you're
like
always constantly-
Yeah, and I think
and your base is specific to you. It's,
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
unique to you. So we were going co-op the whole night,
Mhm.
right? So I joined his party, and we were doing.
And he realized he couldn't do a couple
party
things.
leader. So there was one mission where you had to go, and you're actually editing your base. So from the very first mission, which is in the tutorial, you do that one solo, and then finally we got to a point where we could party up, and then we started doing missions. So there's missions in this world that's just a shared world, and then you have your specific base that we talked about.
and that's just
And
that's
he
one
was
area
party leader
because
so
there's 4 different zones.
We went to his base, so it said there's going to be an attack from the west.
So we
start
started building
defenses. So I'm like, okay, I go into Ryan mode, and I'm like, I'm semi low on this. Like you can hold 999 of a certain
You might
resource.
as well
And you
max
hold
I
out.
was like, I'm only
999.
at 750. Time to start chopping down some fucking trees.
Yeah, so he starts
Right?
trying to chop down
So
trees
I'm like,
and it doesn't
I'm hitting
work.
this tree and nothing's going on. I see a little message that says you need the permission
of the owner.
of the owner
To
in order
damage
to
it.
make changes. And I was like,
So I had
Wait,
to I had
is
to
this just
give him
your
permissions
base?
for my base, and so we figured it out at some point
yeah.
where it's like
We finished that mission. We finished building his base. We finished defending. We go back.
we gave him party leader, and then we switched it over so he
Yeah.
could edit his base.
At first, we didn't even realize, and I was like, "Why can't I continue on to the next mission?" He's like, "Dude, get on to the next mission so we can like go and do it." I'm like, "I can't. I have no progress." And
yeah,
that's when we
so it
realized,
didn't count
wait,
for him. It was weird.
I have to go into my base, and now I have to do it.
So the party leader, that's the one that carries the weight. Like he's the one that
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
his base.
Right.
It's
But some of
his-
the other missions will count for both of you. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
fine.
most of the missions
Okay.
are in, like I said, that shared
It
world.
was kind of a bummer because to figure out it was weird. We
Yeah,
had to
so
do it twice.
you have like so far from the little that we've played, we haven't gone into many of the different areas, but that first main area that you're in, you have like this towns, you have like gas stations and houses
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So you're gonna get plenty of mechanical stuff in there, and you have a place that's like more wooded area.
So it depends on the mission you're doing.
Exactly. So different missions will.
How long
put you
does
different
this
places.
base like? Is it like your base that you have? Like it's like
So
you
it seems
own,
that you're
or-
gonna have there's 4.
It
Right?
seems like there's 4 major zones. So it starts you
major
off in
areas,
one
and
area.
You're gonna have a home base in each one.
got it.
And it just
And that one
scales. It
stays-
scales by like kind of like
that's
level.
your permanent base.
I think it's called power or
And
whatever,
you
but
can
it
slot-
scales it so
you
that
can slot defenders and survivors in your home base.
exactly. So it's not only getting heroes. Heroes are different rarities. So you have
that's-
uncommon, common,
Back to what I was saying. So resource
rare,
collection.
epic,
Oh, okay.
legendary.
So you've got
yes.
a full categorization.
and then
like,
you have other
So-
characters that are survivors.
So
for your
going
base.
back to what I was saying
and
about
defenders, and then different weapons, melee weapons, snipers, assault rifles, shotguns.
so the resource
It
collection
gets
of No
heavy
Man's
really
Sky.
quick.
The base building and just
Mhm.
rebuilding and destruction of Minecraft. The horde mode and defense of different like
Gears of War,
Gears of War, tower defense games, or even anything like that. Plus, you have the weapons and the survivors and all that stuff that are all basically cards. So it's like a card collecting game as well.
Hey, it's
so
nuts.
it's this hodgepodge of all these different things. It's like, oh, I like games that are like this. I like games that are like this, and they're all
Mixes
coming
it together.
together in this one game, and it's incredibly fun, and it's really easy to pick up and learn.
Mhm.
But it's
gonna be hard
really
to master.
deep. Easy to
it's
play.
Really
Really
it's,
deep.
it's not gonna wear you out. Like
easy
you're
to
gonna be
learn,
like,
hard to master.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be done anytime
it's
soon. So it's a
surprising.
game you
It might
keep coming
surprise you
back
how
to.
deep it is.
What's the
Yeah.
replayability on this? Because
You can keep coming back to it week in
yeah.
and week out.
I mean,
They have a
obviously
system
we've
for
only
daily
been playing it
rewards.
for a short amount of time, but
Yeah.
I see this
I
consuming.
I can
I
see.
see this consuming.
So they have
large part of my
a system
time
for
going
daily
forward.
rewards, so like a daily login bonus.
Yeah,
So you come back,
exactly.
it's like, oh, I got my thing,
You
whatever.
know,
and
you know
keep
who
going.
you know who'd get addicted to this?
Hmm.
I already see it.
Who?
Kevin.
Kevin? Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
you join the party.
I don't know because
Let's let him join the
it'd
party.
be like one of those like you wake up at like 4 a.m, you log in, he's playing. You wake up at like
Right.
7 o'clock
Exactly,
at night,
yeah.
he's logged in. So
Yeah.
Like,
does it
do
seem
you work? Do you
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you
then
socialize?
so
for missions you get chests,
Mhm.
and then you also can get credits to where you can buy
Pinatas.
llama pinatas.
Llama
These
pinatas.
llama
what are the
pinatas.
crates? Like
They're like
Exactly.
Overwatch
Like
loot
crates.
boxes.
Exactly.
They're loot boxes.
So it'll give you like a random thing every time. Like sometimes it'll be a broom, sometimes it'll be an
It'll be a
axe, sometimes it'll be a
scythe.
bat,
Or
and
whatever.
you hold down. In this
X.
case, it was R2 to pull it back, and then you go ahead and
You
release
wham
it,
it.
and you wham that thing. Right, you just whack it, and then you have a small chance of
This
it.
is the cool part.
Sometimes you'll whack it, and it won't
break.
bust open immediately.
You have to like keep on hitting it.
Get this. So if you whack it, it doesn't bust open immediately. The whole thing starts to change, and all of a sudden it's silver. So you have more items, better stuff.
What?
And you're like, whoa.
So you don't want-
It
shit.
doesn't stop there. It
Hit
gets
it
better
again.
because you have a chance of whacking it one more time, and then
it goes
turns
gold.
Gold.
And now you're guaranteed a legendary.
Yeah, exactly.
item
And it's also triple like the items overall.
Yes.
So you're sitting there. Then not only that, but some cards will pop up and it'll be like, it won't be decided yet. It'll show a question mark.
Exactly.
And then
you
some
get to choose
SD
between
card
two.
thing will come
All right,
out,
so
and you pick
do
between two different
Yeah, they
things.
look like two little memory cards, like little
Yeah.
micro SD memory cards. And then,
Do
so
you want a
it'll be-
shotgun or you want a sniper
Exactly.
rifle?
Would you like a schematic for a rare rifle or a rare sniper rifle, or would you like a schematic for a rare hero, maybe?
Exactly. And you pick between the two, and then it just randomizes.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you guys played co-op. So
Yeah.
you've got this whole randomization, loot crate, all that stuff, like the piñata.
Yes.
How does all of this tie into the co-op mode? Like, can you use something that you got to help in some way? Like, what's the purpose of playing co-op in the beginning? Like, is it like a role to play, like a medic? Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like,
you have there are different. All right, so different
Yeah.
heroes have different abilities.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have heroes, for instance, like the one that I play.
You're playing a
Um,
soldier.
Exactly. Well, he's not a soldier. I forgot exactly what his class was. But
No, it's a soldier, but it's a subclass of the soldier. It's not like the main character. What's her name? Ramirez.
no, his class is different. He's
Okay,
not
so
a soldier.
then would it be
Um,
Pathfinder?
No, it wasn't
Because
Pathfinder.
the four main ones are.
Don't get hung up on the details right now.
Okay, well that's fine, but I'm trying to figure out which character it
So
was.
basically, my guy is he's more focused on ranged weapons,
mhm.
and he has an ability to where he like lunges forward, so sort of like a get off me ability. So if my ranged weapons have failed me and they're still bearing down on me and they're right there in front of me, I can use that ability. He lunges forward a short distance and he like smashes down on the ground, and then like it's like an electrical shock wave gets sent out, and it'll kill most weak enemies or weaken and stun and knock over the bigger enemies. That way it gives you a little bit of room to go ahead, reload, back up, and then continue to shoot.
So you have these unique
The Mortal
heroes that have
Kombat,
abilities
like,
that
yeah.
Exactly.
you can
Mike's-
tie in.
Mine,
and,
I have.
Mike's is different.
There's a bull rush. So the character I'm playing, she has a shield, like a makeshift like construction shield that she'll run forward in a straight line and gather up the smaller types of
Yeah.
enemies on the front of the shield and throw them down at the end.
Mhm.
The other ability that I was using is like an L1 and R1, where it places down something on a tile,
Mhm.
and then everything connected to it by one tile space gets fortified. So it's more. So it like, let's say a couple of those chest high walls.
Yeah.
If I put it behind it,
You can go ahead and
it
fortify
changed it
those
so that
walls.
when they come up against the wall, they take damage, electrical damage from taking whatever. So that class is a constructor. So it's more of a focus on building and
so
defending
you have
things.
engineer classes, and then you also have like ninjas.
Yeah,
so
there's-
like the ninja classes
there's like
are
the four
cool
main ones.
because their movement speed is much faster than anybody else's, and then so they focus mainly on melee weapons, so they
Yeah.
can have swords, axes, stuff like that.
And I think
So
one of
they
the
just run
abilities is
around and
Ninja
just
Stars or
melee
something.
everything.
So
Yeah.
because you told me
Yeah, they have shurikens like ninja
Yeah.
stars, and they also have smoke bomb, so they can just get
Exactly.
so there's no resource trading, correct?
I don't know about trading. Yeah,
Like
we
no
haven't figured it
like,
out.
when I'm saying
Aware of,
resource
no.
trading, I'm saying like you go pick up wood, you can't give him wood.
No.
I haven't seen a way to do
I
that.
haven't seen a
Now,
way to do
it.
if I craft a weapon or if I pick up a weapon and I don't need it, or let's say
You could drop it out of your
Let's say
inventory.
he
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
have- I-
Okay, so
exactly, I
it's
can
an
drop my
unofficial
weapons
way of
for him.
trading.
Yeah,
Like, you'd be
basically.
like, "Hey, Mike, I got this. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Here, take
It's
it."
like, oh, maybe I have too many nuts
Got
and
it.
bolts,
Yeah.
but you don't have
and
any.
now there
you can
are
craft something,
there are
so I can give it
separate
away.
so if there's a chest
Mhm.
in that area and you find a chest, so let's say we're searching a house, there's a chest down in the basement. If I went down, we decide when we walk in, okay, Mike, you take up top, I'll take down low, and I go down to the basement, and I find that chest, and I open the
And
chest.
loot it.
That's it. That chest can't be.
I don't get
like,
anything
He doesn't
from
get
that.
a separate chest.
So you need to all be
Yeah.
there. when
No,
you
no,
do it.
no, no,
No,
Like
no,
if
no.
even I'm there, if
Whoever
he's the
opens
one
it is
who
the one that
opens the
gets it.
buttons, he gets it.
Oh.
Conversely, though, let's say you find a survivor in one of those roaming maps.
Mhm.
yeah, there's
uh,
survivors on every
If
map.
you
can
defend,
try and
if you're
help.
both shooting the zombies or whatever, and there's enough, and you
yeah, if
defeat
you're
them,
contributing,
you both
to
get rewards.
Defending that exactly.
But if you didn't
contribute
shoot it and
to
you just
defending
kind of
the
walk up
survivor,
expecting a reward, it won't happen. You won't get anything from that.
So for the most part,
Separate loot streams.
there's but you can have like specific roles to play. Like you can't have
absolutely.
you
No,
can
you do,
have
yeah.
Yeah.
because you said you had like a hero that's kind of like primarily for construction. So you could be like, hey, I need you to like focus on this for
Yeah.
this moment.
And we haven't
Yeah.
really even gone over the traps. So, like I was saying earlier, to where you can build floors, walls, the basics for
Mhm.
actually building a
Mhm.
building.
Yeah, there's ceiling.
You
There's,
also
there's
have
floor
ceiling,
traps, wall
floor traps,
and
and wall
ceiling.
traps.
So
And
there'll be
then-
a range from like electric damage or floor spikes.
Yeah.
There's one
Wall
wall trap
darts.
that pushes people off the wall, but there's also ones that like electrify people.
So you can have the wall traps that are all right. Once the zombies are actually up against the wall and attacking it, then it's shocking them or it's doing whatever. Or you can have my personal favorite are the wall darts, and from a certain range, once the zombies are within a certain range, it'll start shooting out at them. So what I like to do is, and this is something that's really cool about the game, you can say, okay, they're approaching from this side. How can we build in a way that's going to funnel them?
So this
on my base, remember what I did? We had kind of
a hallway.
It was almost like a natural funnel because they were coming in between this rock formation. And so the rock formation was such to where I can kind of build a hallway with walls and the floor and then just fill it with floor traps. So those just floor
So they're
fights
just
the whole
constantly.
thing.
So they won't even
had
make it
to
like
run through.
halfway.
They wouldn't even make it through. So we didn't even really have to shoot.
Yeah,
So that's the cool part.
you're defending by architecture.
So
there's
little things like that you have to think of, and it really reminds me of like the first time I played Portal, and they have that like that tagline, "Thinking with portals."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So where you have to think about the game differently. I realized, while playing this game, you have to think about things differently. Like, okay, I need to take this out of the way so I can build something there in its place. And for example, let's say you build yourself a sniper tower like the one that I built. I built one with windows in all four directions, so I can look out of any which way and I can attack this, regardless of where they're coming from. However, let's say you want to build it up to where it's 3 solid walls, and then really the sniper is focused on that one spot. All right, well now you can have you guys down on the ground, build it in a way to funnel the zombies through to where, all right, I just have a cone of death right here in front of me. So you can actually build it in a way to where you can kind of control where they're coming from, and that's something that to me is super.
And so
super
early
cool.
on, you might fail. Like sometimes you'll just set up your defenses, like, oh, it's going to work this way, and then they'll just walk in a way where it's like they're not even going.
It's that trial and error to where
it's like,
you think,
fuck, I wasted resources.
So we were talking about, I built that funnel between the rocks, and I built walls, and I built the floor. And at first they were coming.
Some of them came through.
Some of them were coming through. Some of them simply went around the rocks and started to come.
Well, there was also spawn points slightly more to the left on the other side of this rock.
Exactly.
They just came from
we
open
didn't know.
field hanging out.
That we didn't know about.
Yeah.
So now you
could
start
alter
to
it later.
You start to think, all right, as soon as I clear this wave, now I know more or less what their habits are. Now I can build it differently. I can take down what I built, and I can build it a little bit differently to try and have a wider berth on the front
so they
of the
funnel
tunnel,
them in,
and then funnel them in more narrowly towards my base.
So you have to obviously think and strategize to get to be
It
efficient
makes
about it.
Yeah, the game forces you to think differently.
And is there when I think about this kind of horde system, I think of zombies and stuff like that, where it goes by rounds. How does this work? Do they stop coming and then you build, or are you always building? And are they always coming?
There are spots where you once you've finished defending, that there will be a time where you can
a cooldown time.
Exactly.
Build
There's a
or
cooldown time where you can
repair,
go in and you can build more if you need to. You can repair your walls. You can reload your traps because there are traps that run out and stuff like that.
They have uses.
Kind of sounds more of like a tower defense game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like tower defense.
It takes pieces from all these.
Which I
I
love tower defense games.
On top of the fact that
I know Mike makes fun of me all the time for playing them.
You even said it's awesome.
Certain tower defense games. But okay, so with the heroes and the guns and stuff like that, you have the rarities and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The traps do too. They're like cards as well.
Yes. Exactly.
So you have schematics for traps, and then it's you build enough of them, and they do certain things. And then there's also a replayability. So if you have a replayability to that element where you'll get duplicates, and you'll be like, oh, this is just the same thing. But you hover over it, and it's oh, this one, when you level it up, it gives you crit damage or whatever. So you might want to play around with that as well.
You have to level up the hero that you use. So you, the player, have your own level.
It's called the commander level or commander XP.
You're
or
the
whatever.
commander, right? So you, the commander, have your own level. But then the hero that you use, because you can change your hero whenever you want, they also have levels. So you can use XP to raise their level and then unlock new abilities for them at each.
So it's you can have essentially a main that you like a lot.
Exactly.
Has a higher XP than the rest of them.
But then you can also upgrade the levels of weapon schematics or trap schematics.
And as you level them up, they'll get more perks
powerful.
or whatever.
As you go leveling them up, each level can unlock a new ability.
So you could effectively have a group of co-op where you say, you know what, Mike, I know you love to play this character and you have a lot of XP on this specific Wednesday. So you do that for sniper. Let's say you have a hero that is very good at sniping, has sniping perks to it. and you have a high XP on that specific weapon, you tell them, you know what, this is the best person to do it. Like, you know, I don't have any XP on any of my snipers.
Oh, and by the way, you can also create your own ammunition.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a
So
resource.
you have to
constantly
craft
crafting
your
it.
own bullets.
You're constantly crafting it. All you have to do is, so you press on PlayStation 4, you press square to reload,
Mhm.
and if you hold down square, you can just create more.
And you just hold it down and constantly keep it.
And it just uses whatever
Yeah.
you have in your
I've done it where
As
I
long as you
ran
have the
out.
resources, you can go.
I realized that I needed more nuts and bolts or whatever, and so I ran out of being able to make ammo. I still had
Right.
plenty of ammo, but like I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I have to take out a couple cars or whatever to get the bolts. Before I mentioned like a class system order. I think in order to understand it in a way like Destiny, wrap your head around it better.
always
There's the
Destiny.
4 main classes for the heroes. It's soldier, constructor, outlander, and ninja. So the ninja and the soldier deal damage or whatever.
Mhm.
Ninja's obviously more evasive and like they can work their way around
Melee
things.
based. Yeah, they're just speed and
Outlander
Smack in the
seems to
face.
have sometimes some of the characters seem to have a focus on like ranged weapons, but it's also a scavenging thing.
So it's a scout.
So
It's a
when
scout.
they're on like the maps where you're kind of roaming around and like doing a certain objective, but you have an opportunity to loot a bunch of different things, they get like a bonus or something. I have to look into it.
They're the rogues
Yeah.
that have like the patch in the eye.
Right.
And they're like, I do this
Yeah.
by myself.
yeah.
Then you have the constructor, which is more of the base building focus type of thing. So
Okay, so
then
yeah,
there's different variants of those. So some of them will have
Wow.
different mixes of different abilities, basically.
that's nice.
Yeah.
So there's a good
It's
variety.
fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's
So-
definitely fun.
Everything you've said right now, this game is early access. So
Yeah.
it has not been
Right.
released. They plan on releasing it in 2018, correct?
Yeah,
Like the full release.
next year.
Yeah.
But you can snag access to the game right
Yeah.
now
Yes.
by paying $39.99 for the base, and
the
then I
base,
think
that's the
there's-
founder edition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't really give you anything
$39.99
extra.
is only digitally. You can't get them
Yeah,
on
that's
disc
true.
that
Okay.
way,
Then there's the deluxe edition,
which is the full 60.
the full 60.
That
So
one
it's
you
like
can't get.
buying
yeah,
for the
you
game,
get
you know, whatever.
unique
Like normal.
heroes. And
You get a bunch of
and
different
items,
loot boxes
yeah.
and things like that.
Many-
Founder icons.
Many of those pinatas that we're talking about, you get I
Yeah.
think like 15 of them. Yeah.
Exactly. And then there's the upgrade ones, which is like just 5 of them, which is
Yes.
different, like just different types
You
of
get
cards.
founders coins. So while playing in this early access part, you'll get founders coins.
Yeah, then
And
you could use those to buy.
And
I think that's just for
eventually
the
they
first
won't be
month.
around in the game.
And then beyond that, I think it's like we said, like $100 one. I think like a pack.
There's
Yeah,
a
there's
$100
one-
one, there's a
yeah.
$150 one.
There's one that's like $100, and that one, what it actually is that you get one deluxe version, so that you get all the extra items that we're talking about in the $60 purchase, and you get an extra copy of the game for a friend.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So there's reasons why those are more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the highest one is crazy because it gives you a ass ton of different like boxes and stuff like that, and you get guaranteed like legendary heroes.
That's an awesome system.
Really good idea,
That's an
right?
awesome.
Exactly. It's like, hey, look,
for
I'm
these
gonna
games,
spend
like,
extra
like,
money.
dude, like Destiny, for example. Destiny's always telling you,
You bundle
play
them
with
with
people,
multiple
play with
games, yeah.
people. Why don't you do that? Bundle 2 games together,
Mhm.
okay, and then you say, hey, you know what? One of us saves money by doing it.
Yeah.
And wow, I'm completely blown away with that system. I think that's great. So I've read articles, I've read forums, and I've seen that it's not really a controversy. I don't think a lot of people are like throwing their
No, people aren't pissed about it.
No, they're not, but they are questioning the idea because it is somewhat new in the sense that it is an early access game. They have to pay for
Yes.
a game that in the future will be
Free to
free
play.
to play.
Yeah.
And we understand that
Yeah, it's going to be on the
It's already been
complete
set, yeah.
launch. It's going to be FTP. It's going to
Yeah.
be free to play.
and
But that's like next year.
I'm already seeing the microtransaction kind of like bleeding in, and like for
Yeah.
example, like buying the
No, there will be.
Yeah,
There-
yeah. Well, that's how they're
you
gonna
can
make the
already
money.
See it in the store.
Yeah, that's how they're
There's
going to
a
make
part
the
in the
money.
store where you can buy
Yeah.
coins to unlock pinatas.
And that's understandable.
exactly.
When you go to a free to play model,
Yeah.
you have to expect that. I mean, they have to make money. Now the question just comes down to, so you're essentially paying $39.99. Let's stick with the base one for
Right.
this to get early access.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
to get in.
just
at the
everybody
ground
gets onto
floor
that.
a year before everyone else.
Yeah. So, but there is no other benefit. Even when you get to the $60 one, the $100 one, there's no benefit in the long run besides just you playing the game for that amount of time.
Yeah.
Like there's no
Exactly.
like long-term benefit. There's no like you're getting something that people will not get
From
in
what
the
we've
release.
seen so far, I
Just
don't
just
think
so like icons for your like
So nobody's
whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
base,
just
like a
trying to
descriptive thing,
allude to the fact that nobody's going to miss out
Not necessarily.
If they wait.
You're gonna get the same
probably
basic.
You'll
experience.
miss out by
stuff.
just not playing it.
Probably really minor stuff because we got the Founders Edition, so you get like Founders emblems for your.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
for, like,
but
your
we got
little
also
emblems
like
that
a
you
jump
can
start
make.
on.
Well, I
like,
mean, for some people that might actually be a good big
Yeah.
thing because like I know people like to collect emblems
Right,
and stuff like
right.
that.
yeah, we get
So
like
that's-
a bit of a head
that's good.
start on like collecting a group of heroes. Like,
Yeah.
we have like a crap ton of like rare
Now-
heroes.
Now here's
right
the
now.
here's the question: you guys are guaranteed. Like, is this a for sure thing that you'll be able to keep your progress from the
Oh, from
early
to
access?
full
Well, I don't
release?
think it's
to
gonna.
full
I don't think
release.
it's gonna be like a
Yeah.
wipe the
like a
slate
beta,
clean.
like a
No,
beta
no,
to full
no,
release.
Because then there would be
No.
no way that I would be jumping in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would pay.
No, it's not like early access.
if
where
they were to do
PUBG
that, they would kill. They would kill the
No,
game.
no,
Yeah.
I'm
because
only
the negative
yeah.
publicity that will come out.
Yeah,
I'm only asking because
Just kill them.
I'm
It's not like you're gonna lose
Yeah.
any items or anything. Like
I don't think anybody would pay money to
Yeah.
have
What's
that.
interesting is that the game is so it's 2017 and the game is early access. This game, I remember when it was first announced in
it's
2011.
like 6 years ago. Yeah,
It's already been 6 years in development. This game,
it
funny
looked
enough,
much different.
It was
at
one
the
of
beginning.
it was one of those first games that they used to show off Unreal 4, and
Oh
it's
God.
just coming out now, and it's not even the full release yet. This is early access, and you got
Yeah.
another year. So the fact that it's been like I've been waiting for it so long, and like that's why we did our research before getting it. We were like, let's look into it to decide whether or not we want to buy
What
it.
do we think it's
or
worth
we'll just
it?
wait.
Is the
and-
gameplay
until
going to
it's
be good enough?
So it's free to play, and then. But we looked at it and it looked so polished, it looked so fun, and I can tell you right now, like again, it's still early on, so it could be just the honeymoon phase. But I think it was worth the
I
price.
think it
was a
really
lot
is.
of
It
fun.
really is worth buying in to jump into.
Yeah,
it.
before I jump out, I want to just confirm that. So it is a polished early access game.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's done.
If, all right, if it
done.
didn't say early access on the little banner,
It
wouldn't
wouldn't
know
matter.
at the
top, I wouldn't even be able to know.
Do you feel like you're getting less than your money's worth? Because
Absolutely
usually early access, sometimes you're not
no,
getting
and
the
especially
full-
with the tiered purchase prices.
You can jump in
Because
at a
if you
point
don't
where you
want
want.
the
Yeah,
extra stuff, then just pay the $40 and you have the cheaper one.
yeah, because the way that the game is designed is it's like a quest book thing where it's like for that zone that you're in, the starting zone,
Yeah.
you have different missions to do, and then there are certain rewards. So like the second reward is you getting your first hero. So you get that soldier, that base soldier, Ramirez girl.
Yeah,
she-
so
you
there's
just get
still
her to
plenty of
play.
ways to get heroes and
Yeah.
schematics and weapons.
And you'll get a
and all
different
that
constructor later on, so you get the
Exactly.
constructor character.
You'll,
And they'll be
get them.
green
You don't
or
have to
blue
pay the
rarity.
money.
So like, it's like the early game stuff.
It's like most FTP games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
where you'll eventually get the stuff that you want anyways.
it just takes a
But
little
if
longer.
you want to pay a little bit
Yeah.
more,
You get the
can
extra
get
stuff,
stuff
yeah.
earlier.
Mhm.
That's the
and
way
there
it
are a
is.
lot of free to play models that are completely doable without paying a dime. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know, like earlier today, we were talking about all these crazy games, World of Warships.
Mhm.
They're all free to play,
Mhm.
and I haven't put a dime into any of those games. And I've
Warframe
You'll eventually
is
get
much
certain
like
things.
that.
Yeah.
Warframe's really good when I.
you just got to play more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game seems great, and I'm kind of glad that they went with this model, not the pay model, but the fact that the early access game is as polished as it is.
Yeah.
A lot of developers they kind of get itchy and they just want to get the game out.
Yeah.
And they get the game out. and
Yeah,
it's
this
not
wasn't-
really-
this
No, you
wasn't
could
a
tell they took
case-
their. I mean,
yeah.
6 years, dude. They took their time. They
Yeah,
took
this
their
wasn't a
time.
case
The good
of.
thing-
So that's a BioWare who took 5 years to make a
Exactly.
game
I was
that
gonna
took
allude to
1
that.
Good
year
thing-
Yeah.
the
to
good-
develop.
Yeah, but the good thing is that
Yeah.
the team that made this game, they have so much other income just from their engine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
from Unreal, they have so much money coming in from the Unreal
So they
engine
didn't really have to worry
that
about.
they don't have
deadline.
to worry about. Okay, we have to push this game out there because we need the profits. They can work independently of that factor that most other game developers have to deal with.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what really helped this game get pushed along because they can take their time. They can really make it exactly as they pictured it when they first came up with the idea, and it shows in the product when you play it.
So it's changed over the years. Like it looked different. I think it looked a little bit more gritty early on, and then they kind of adapted into this cartoony
I love the
style.
cartoony style.
It's great.
It's
It helps.
really cool.
It helps because it's a base building game. It's fun. It's
Mhm.
whatever. But the only thing they really would have had to worry about is that the longer it takes, the less exposure that they might have had for the game or whatever.
Now
which I don't think they have suffered
the
from at all.
ultimate question: do you think they'll bring it to the Switch?
I don't know. No idea.
Let me tell you,
I honestly don't think.
By
so.
what you guys are telling me, if they brought that style of game to the Switch,
Right.
I probably would have it all day long.
Already.
I just on all
Right.
day.
Yeah.
Like it
Because
just seems like
the
an addictive
portability or
game.
whatever.
It
but
is.
It's addictive.
I don't
is,
think
man.
so too because the way it's set up, it's like I don't know. It's more to do with the UI than anything
Mm-hmm.
because it feels like if you look at it on a PlayStation, you'd be like, oh, this could be running on PC because of the way the menus are set up or whatever. And you'll see if you jump into the game or whatever. But I don't think
Don't
the chances are good.
don't forget that the Switch has touchscreen.
To get it.
Well, there's that, but I don't know how I would implement it. It would be weird.
Yeah, I absolutely encourage you guys to get it because the more the merrier. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
How many? What's the maximum squad number? Is it 4?
It's a 4. It's a 4-man squad.
Yeah,
so you guys,
we can get in there with 4.
so you guys are just you guys are doing this pitch until you guys get 2 more and then you're done.
Yeah.
No,
exactly. Yeah.
No, but the good thing is that all right, because we
Jumping
played
in and
before. We played with 2 randoms.
Mm-hmm.
But playing with a full squad versus playing with just 2, it's just fine. Like we can still handle it because as long as you build things right and you're coordinating with each other, it's just fine. Like there was one part where we had enemies coming from 2 different fronts.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was fun.
All right, Mike, you go ahead. You build up your side, put traps, whatever. You take care of that side. So you take care of the east. I'm going to take care of the west. So I'm going to set up my traps over here. I'm going to funnel them how I want. You take care of that. And as long as you can trust each other, which we're playing together in a party anyways. So we have that that trust built in. So as long as you can trust each other and say, all right, you have that side, I have this side. Playing with 2 people, playing with 4 people, I think you can play with however many as you need. Mm-hmm. Even playing solo, to be perfectly honest, because you have that time to build. Solo. Yeah. And so as long as you think about things the right way and you can build it up.
No, that's a good question because there are some people in the audience. I know because if anybody in our audience plays Destiny, they know that there's a split between people who like to play solo and then kind of join into the people. Is there any benefit to playing solo that will then translate to playing with people? Like maybe like when you play solo, you level up your XP, you level up that stuff. Does that translate when you play co-op? Like obviously you keep that XP with you.
I don't know if you level up faster or slower.
All right. So since
well, no, I'm just trying to think like because
I don't think so because
I don't think there's a benefit to.
No, I don't think so because even when we play, we're not getting the same amount of XP and stuff.
That's
like
true.
That. It's
so it depends on your performance.
It's still depending upon your actions. So if you play solo or if you play with people, it doesn't matter. You have separate resources. There's no resource pooling. Okay. We've already talked about the separate loot
rewards.
Streams. Yeah. And you have separate XP.
But no, I'm saying, but when you're playing solo, you're leveling up your own XP, so
Correct.
You can carry that with you. So when you play co-op, you have that higher XP with you. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, so you don't have to wait for people to join in and play with you to play the game.
No. So during the week when I'm at work, Mike can play.
Yeah, exactly. If I have free time, I can just jump in.
Later on that night, I can jump right in, and we're good.
And then let's say I level up a hero too much.
In a way, you benefit from having somebody who's played because his XP's higher. Maybe he has better weapons and stuff that he can use.
Now, the only thing that could be problematic in that specific case is that if he goes on and does quests without me, then we'd have to go back and do them for me.
Yeah,
damn.
But that's just
why would you do that?
That's just more of a bitch. That would just be more of a. Is it boring to play those again? Probably not. No. It's still the same thing. I just get to go back and defend, and then maybe I have some extra insight.
Okay, so a good example.
It's like, or I get crushed in one mission.
Last
night
we needed a skill point because you have a skill tree.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, you have skill trees, guys.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
We needed to unlock a skill point to advance in the skill tree for a quest. So then we were like, oh shit. Well, we had to go back and play another one of the missions. It was the same basic mission to where we had to defend something, but it ended up being a different building.
Yeah. So we thought about it differently
on the map. So it was a different building and. The amount of enemies and where they came from, that changed as well. So it's almost a little bit procedural.
Right now, I'm not kidding. It's like hashtag hype.
Procedural.
Yeah. So then on top of that, we decided
that's awesome.
We're going to come in here for the XP and get the thing, but we also need to stack up on resources.
By the way, the number of weapons, I would definitely compare that to maybe like a Borderlands.
Wow.
It also seems to be procedurally generated because
so you got modules that are changed up.
Exactly. Like Mike was saying, to where you have the same AR-15. Let's say you have 15 different AR-15s. Each one will have different specs.
Exactly.
Different advantages.
So this one will, when you level it up to level 2, it'll give you 15% crit damage.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one will give you headshot damage.
When you're leveling up the specific weapon itself, you said there was something about durability. How does that?
Yeah, the more you're
leveling
up
the schematic.
The schematic. All right, that's very good clarification.
Yeah.
Good. So every time you build the weapon out of that schematic, it's going to come out at that level. That's the schematic.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, I mean, like, for the most part, you guys are more than safe in saying that you recommend people get this game if they're into
that
if you're into the tower defense type.
I mean,
mixed with
if you're into any of the like 30 different
things that you said in the past, like
in the game, absolutely, yeah. Because the cool thing is, like, I was talking to my uncle about this because he games as well, and we play games all the time. And when I showed him the trailer, I could have sworn like what was going to catch him was the defense, like the horde mode style of the game. And what I found really interesting was when he reacted, he was like, "Oh, that looks really cool. I can't wait to get in there and build my own base." And I was completely taken aback. I was like, "Really?" So there's something in it for everyone.
Well, because if you really think about it, if you're like a person who's really into like tower defense games, tower defense, the essence of tower defense is just showing your superiority at building a setup that then defeats people. It's like you feel like, yes, I did this. And
all right. So in the one that I was talking about, to where Mike took the West, I took the East, the biggest satisfaction came from the fact that we basically didn't have to fire any shots. For the most part, we never had to fire any shots because we had set up so many traps in such a way to where they would funnel right through, and we just stand there and kind of laugh. Right. Yeah, you can't even make it to me, let alone the objective.
You play tower defense games, right?
Yeah.
So you know how in tower defense games you have your static, like, you have your towers.
Yeah.
And then while the round is going on, you also have like these things you can drop into the map.
You can be building and upgrading.
Or you can actually like, I know this is like, for me, this was like, I got into the game. It's called Balloons.
Yes, I have it.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands of hours.
With the little monkeys.
Oh, man. Thousands of hours into that game. In that game, you can drop like these like exploding pineapples.
Yeah.
I don't like using them. It
feels
like cheating.
Yep.
It feels like cheating. Like it feels like you're like last minute resort, like ditch effort. Like your towers are not making it. And
basically, if I have to use one of those, I know I fucked up.
Exactly. You're not doing a good job.
Yep.
Right. No, he's right. That's exactly how it feels. Like spikes, like you're dropping. No, you gotta make sure that your towers are doing your job.
It's like a self-implemented hard mode.
It is. It is. No, he's absolutely right. So you guys, if you really like what you're listening, I mean, it kind of sounds like a pretty good deal. It's not the price of a full game if you buy the
like we said,
if after all this you're still skeptical,
the $40 one.
If after this you're all skeptical, like just go on to Twitch and watch someone play.
That's
what
made
me decide to get it.
That's what we did before we decided whether we were going to.
I watched the guy and I watched him. He was explaining the game very well and everything. And I told him in the stream, hey, look, I decided to buy the game. Thanks for
do you see any potential in people like getting hooked on watching this type of game?
Because maybe I think it depends on.
It looks like this type of game where people are like looking and they're kind of thinking to themselves like, oh, I see this guy building and I see.
I'll tell you this. I'm not necessarily so. I was growing up. I was never really into Legos because I would get frustrated because man, I can't build stuff like these other people. Like some of the stuff that people were able to build was so crazy. So I'll tell you this. I would absolutely watch a stream of someone who was just crazy at building. Like, I'm talking about castles.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
If it was that, I would absolutely watch it. But then
like
again,
a master builder.
The game has so many different aspects to it that somebody might be watching for that. Somebody might be watching because you're just really dominant. Like, you don't even use traps. You're just really dominant with your weapons or your abilities. Or I think it has watchability.
But I think what it comes down to is
they're just like standing there like, come and get me.
Yeah.
Well, I think what it comes down to for me is personality. Like, do you like watching this person play this game? Is fun for you? And then on top of that
always plays a role.
There's just the items, the loot. So people like watching people play Hearthstone when they're opening 50 packs.
Yep.
Because they want to see what they get. So they have that. They don't have to spend the money on the game, but they get to see that satisfaction.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, he got a legendary. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So you'll see someone who has a lot of legendary heroes, and maybe you'll watch them because they have a lot of cool stuff.
That personality in action. Back to what he said, the personality thing is very important, though.
Yeah,
that's for a lot of streamers. They may not even be at like a pro level of gaming, but their personality is what really
fun to watch.
That's why Betty is so good at it because she has the personality there. She's she is the way that she is on the stream, and people are really drawn to that. And so you can have somebody that's super skilled, but if they have the personality of a wet carrot, then no one's gonna fucking watch them.
Yeah.
Well, you see them like you'll be scrolling through Twitch and like you'll see that they'll have like 10,000 followers,
right?
But it's because they're pro players,
exactly.
Not streamers. Like they're not streaming themselves; they're streaming the gameplay. They're you're just watching them like kill
that
it.
In itself should tell you that there's a market to stream this game.
Yeah.
Because if people are willing to watch people stream, so if you have a pro gamer that has like 10,000 followers, that kind of makes sense. They're a pro. You want to see somebody at the highest level compete.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have these people that are more or less normal. They're average players, but their personality really puts them out there, and people are drawn to that. It could be the same thing with the game. I'm drawn to this aspect of the game, and I really like it. And I think it does have the potential. I think it does have the potential to be
something that someone could like.
Sure.
Talking about streaming, we're gonna have to talk about Bungie now. Ryan, I know you're not huge on Destiny, but you will have some things to say about this because
I'm sure I will.
You will.
Oh, I'm hoping to get Destiny 2 at some point. Just not on Xbox.
What do you mean at some point? The some point will be at its release.
just not on Xbox.
No, never.
Not because of any particular biased reason. Just
No, it's just that
I'm going to be getting on PS4, so you might as well play it on PS4.
The overlap in everyone that we play with is PlayStation.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna
it's
play
true.
with my uncle
And
on
then-
Xbox.
And then people are like,
Forget your uncle. Down with family.
well,
Bro, loyalty to
over
family.
actual bros?
yeah, blood's not thicker than water.
No.
No, that's not
There you
the
go.
saying at all. So we're gonna kind of like jump into like this little Destiny thing, but
Just
it does,
real quick, yeah.
But it does have to kind of like it does go along with streaming and how this will affect the streaming community. Bungie released the fact that Destiny 2 on PC will actually be restricted on its ability to like stream directly from the game itself.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So if you have OBS, if you have even GeForce, I think you can't really stream the game itself. They do say you can stream the window, but for some reason, look, I'm not
I'm not sure on the technical, like
the technical
whatever,
stuff.
yeah.
I've tried reading it. I've tried understanding what's going on. The general idea is this: Bungie doesn't want whatever streaming service you're using to access the internal code of the game. So this will include anything from overlays. So Discord, how it has that overlay,
Oh, wow.
that
Or
can be
Steam or something
included.
like that.
Steam. You have, for example,
Twitch? So you won't have the Twitch overlay?
Twitch, Fraps. You know how people
Wow.
use Fraps for
To count
their
the
that
FPS, yeah.
that's also out. OBS.
So what about GeForce?
I would
maybe
assume
GeForce,
I would
yeah.
assume so because GeForce has a frame rate counter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
So
that's what I use.
that already kind of
Wow.
me too.
Huh.
That's my main frame rate counter. So I'm assuming that already kind of goes into the code of the game.
There's also something else here about chat services.
Yep.
What's that?
That's something that I kind of tried reading through, and I'm not sure if they mean you can't use Discord while you're playing Destiny.
That would kill the
which
game. It really would.
But it's odd because how does that work with the code? I think one would make more sense that they say chat system in the sense of like overlay. Like you can't
Right,
use
okay.
Discord and see people conversing through your overlay.
There you go.
You'd need like maybe
That
like a
makes a bit more
second
sense.
monitor. For chatting.
there's a whole community behind. People still maybe not use Discord, but they use
Yeah.
TeamSpeak, they use Vent.
Yeah.
So it's just people the way you want to communicate with the game.
Yeah.
Because who knows, Bungie could have a really bad chat for a PC.
The
voice
way,
chat,
the way I see
on-
this, I think that if you're running a dual monitor setup, you're fine
You're
when
fine,
it comes to communicating and chatting and all that. Because Discord, you just have it open on the other window. The interest here is the streaming problem, where people say that they do that for people who have like this particular setup with streaming. Not being able to stream directly from like the game mode, like like you'll select game instead of like just the window.
Right.
There's like maybe like a performance issue there. Whereas others, look, it's split. Some people are saying they don't care. Obviously, if you don't stream on PC, then
It's not a real
you
issue.
don't care.
Yeah.
It's not an issue
You
at
get to
all.
play.
In fact, it's a benefit because Bungie released the fact that this all is happening because they're trying to keep hackers and cheaters out
From
of the
accessing,
code of the game.
They don't want to spoil
Oh,
things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Because data mining is a real thing where
Yeah.
it happens on the console where people find out stuff early by accessing the code of the game and knowing what's going on. Like, oh, there's code for this gun, so maybe we'll see it later
now
on.
my question is this: Destiny's gonna be launched out of Blizzard's Battle.net server.
Yes.
So we're looking at that kind of like release.
I think you could already pre-order it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't show up. Yeah, you didn't have heard about this?
Really?
Yeah.
During the Destiny 2 reveal, at the very end, they had one of the CEO, one of the people who worked at
How crazy is this?
Blizzard.
I was
And
not
they're like,
expecting
the
it.
platform-
I thought I
so-
misheard you. I thought I had zoned out because it was Destiny, and I heard just random words. I was
I just
like,
pulled
wait
it-
a
I
second.
No,
I
yeah,
pulled the
exactly. So
dough
instead
out
of
of my
instead of
out of
deciding
my
right?
yeah.
to go with
Magic.
Steam or Origin or
Out of your
whatever,
short sleeve. Impressive.
I know.
they had someone come up on the stream during the thing and say that Battle.net is where Destiny 2 is going to launch from.
Huh.
I know.
So it's going to show the Hearthstone logo, it's going to show
Wow.
the Overwatch logo, and then it's going to have that Destiny there too
You,
as well.
you even have like right now, like Mike was saying, like banners, like pre-order Destiny.
Exactly,
on
pre-order Destiny 2 on
Battle.net.
Battle.net, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where it's going to be getting on PC.
But now my question is this: so why is Bungie having this problem with overlay? Yet when you play Overwatch,
it
not a
seems fine.
problem.
I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see
and Overwatch is
what
like,
happens when it comes
I
out.
mean, arguably Overwatch is more competitive in that sense than
Right, but I don't think
Destiny.
I haven't seen any examples of anyone doing anything malicious with it.
No,
I don't think you can mess with the game like a live game. I don't know.
There must be something
well,
in that code.
they're
that
saying
really
that they're
don't
trying to
want people
avoid
see.
cheating and
Yeah.
hacking. So
Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know
I'm
how-
not a
I don't know how
programmer.
some of
I
that
don't know,
works,
but
yeah.
all I do know is that this is creating some sort of issue.
Yeah.
We will probably know more when the PC version comes out and people start complaining of
Speaking of that,
particular
though,
problems.
like I'm absolutely going to be participating in this beta.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I want to see
Oh,
how it runs on my
absolutely.
PC. If unfortunately the
And I'm
worst
gonna
case
stream.
scenario, unfortunately worst case scenario, if it ends up being that my PC can't necessarily handle it at
I'm gonna Facebook
the
Live
settings
it.
I want.
Can you imagine?
I'll stand
Like,
behind you.
take-
I'll stand
Take
behind
a,
you.
take a camera. Yeah.
I'm
Just,
gonna give an over-the-shoulder
just
view.
take it out and be like, all right, we come live while
Yeah.
Armando plays Destiny on his PC.
You get a helmet and you like tape it to the side. So
Put a
it's like,
GoPro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
GoPro
on
helmet.
my fucking hat.
You know.
God.
Well,
Yeah, no,
look,
I'm
the
looking
game is not
forward
running
to
at 4K, but my GoPro is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll be looking forward to see whether or not like what settings I could run it at and whether or not it's comfortable for me.
Mhm.
As of right now, though, I'm assuming it will, and that I'll be buying it also on PC, so PS4 and PC, so I can play them. But if it ends up turning out that it's worst case and it's not running very well, then I might not buy it on PC.
Now that you brought that up, I just want to give our audience a quick runabout. So Bungie did release the minimum specs for
Yeah, they
running Destiny. If you're running Intel for CPU, the minimum spec would be a Core i3, which is really like
kind
great.
of low end,
Yeah,
lower end one. Right?
It's lower end, and I think that's fantastic. I mean, look, it's not going to run beautifully. Like I don't think you're gonna see any really.
You would probably lower the settings a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but Core i3, and we're talking i3 3250, so we're not even talking like recent gen. And then for the AMD, the 4350. Now for GPU, you can run decent specs. A GTX 660 with 2 gigs of VRAM. Come on, that's
If you're gonna
not
be running
crazy.
it there in medium to low with with that setup, then I
That's
think you'd be fine.
Awesome. And then for AMD, the Radeon 7850. Again,
And that's the minimum, right? Not
that's
the
min.
recommended.
This is min. No, recommended is not. It's not crazy either.
Yeah, no, it's
recommended
not.
is
It's, I think it's where I'm hovering around.
Yeah, but no, recommend is like not. Like, it's fine. It's really normal specs for any mid PC. And then for RAM, for the min PC would be 6 gigabytes of RAM, which I think most gaming
people have,
rigs have 8 min. Like they'll probably go 8 to like 16. Now for recommended specs, you're looking at an Intel Core i5 2400, which now you're talking quad core.
And then
so,
is there an AMD comparison on there?
yeah, the Ryzen R5 1600. So
Okay.
you're looking at the R5 for the Ryzen series.
So I'm just a little lower there on the CPU
Yeah.
for the recommended.
But even then, I think you'd be more than fine. You're running
Oh, yeah.
8 cores at 4.0. You should be more than fine. Now, for the GPU, NVIDIA GTX 970, which
That's
is
where I'm
already
at.
one gen away.
That's me right there.
That's perfectly fine. They don't say VRAM, but you're obviously assuming it's going to be
Or something like 4 gig.
4 gig to 8 gig of VRAM. And then the Radeon R9 390 for the AMD fam. And then
Yeah.
8
So
gig.
I'm hoping for me, where I'm going to be at is
Yeah.
comfortably medium to high settings. Whatever gets me 50, 60 FPS, because I want to be running at Destiny at 60 FPS, because I want it to be that difference between the console. And I've already seen gameplay. I saw Jack Frags. He was able to get some captured footage from when he was at the event. And it looks almost like a different game. It's the same
Yeah.
game. It's just
But it looks, no, they say that it
it's
looks
so smooth
yeah.
and like different. Like it has an effect on the gameplay
Yeah.
overall.
Now, this is really funny, and I'm only going to say it because Bungie said it. They actually released a second category of PC specs, I guess, for like enthusiasts.
Right, like high
Any
end.
enthusiast would know what they need to get.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
just so that you guys know that for CPU recommended min would be an Intel Core i5 7400 with a GTX 1060 6 gig VRAM, or an Intel Pentium G4 560, which is, wow, pretty impressive that they went down the Pentium line.
Mhm.
And then for GPU, a 1050. For Bungie's event machine that they will be running at, they're looking at Intel i7 7700K, and the crowd goes wild. And then a 1080
Of
Ti.
course, 1080, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but
of
like
course.
it's like
Just to
my
go
mind is like,
overboard. Just to go overboard.
but like
yeah, just
my
have it.
mind's like, why do you even have to release these specs? Like
We know what
we
you
know-
need to run at a max.
we
Yeah.
know what we want in a PC.
Yeah.
You don't have to say it. Running 11 gigs of VRAM. So like that's just crazy. Now, early access will begin August 28th. That means that if you pre-order the game on PC, you'll be looking at access to it the 28th of August, and then open beta, which a day doesn't really seem that much of a benefit to pre-order.
Not necessarily, no.
Not really.
But then again, if you're pre-ordering on Amazon, you're not paying any money for that pre-order anyway.
Absolutely. So
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah.
So the open beta officially starts for everybody August 29th, and it will end August 31st. Having the game release sometime mid-September. So
yeah, I'll probably jump in during the open period.
So you really are looking at the PC beta coming out 2 weeks before the game launch, which is not bad. I think it just kind of wets our whistle a little bit just to really get up, and then the game comes out in a few weeks after that. which, I mean, we really haven't spoken much about it because this is pretty much the beta has come out.
we're in the waiting period.
Yeah, we're in that period where we're just waiting to see what Bungie has to offer, and really, that's it. This has been what's come out. Anything in particular that you think you're expecting out of the PC besides maybe some server crashes and stuff like that?
There's a potential that it could be a really big hang up at the beginning.
Yeah,
as far as servers, because we don't know. Like, I expect it'll be popular on PC. I see a lot of PC players wanting to jump in on this game, and because I've already had what's it called? Carlos and George talk to me about guaranteed almost getting it on PC now. If it's more or less the same game as Destiny 1, it's going to be something they're going to be jumping on for hours. So, given the unforeseen possibility of millions of people really wanting to play on PC, you might see some server crashes.
Yeah.
Or queue times to get in.
I think we'll see it. We had it happen at console for a few minutes. I think maybe an hour. People were having some issues. So I didn't experience that because I did end up jumping in a few hours after the release of the
so those
beta.
things kind of resolve themselves.
Yeah. So honestly, the way I see it, if you fall within these specs and you just want to touch it, just see what it's about, just touch it. Just touch it. Just touch it. Just August 29th.
Just touch it. Come on, man.
August 29th, download it. It'll be on battle.net.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah, so battle.net, you'll be able to download that and just kind of give it a shot. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, we'll probably keep you guys apprised about what's going on next week. Now, Ryan.
Yes.
I know you have some updates for us.
Yes.
Please let the audience know.
Okay, so I came to you with this idea, and I figured, with all of our listeners out there, I'm sure we're all not just one-dimensional human beings with only one interest.
Only games.
So to kind of bridge the gap between games and another area of our lives, I figured while still being a game, it's also the biggest sport in America. So with football season about to start, I wanted to start a hung jury gaming fantasy football league.
Let's do it.
So I'll go ahead and I'll set that up on ESPN. When it's ready, we can put out the link and everything. It up. So just a place to where you guys can, the listeners, can join. If we need to make multiple leagues, I'm more than happy to do that. They're free. There's no entry, nothing like that. Like I said, it'll be on ESPN.com. The fantasy system on there is really easy and intuitive. So if you like football,
through phone apps as well.
Yeah, they have apps and everything, so you can do it right on there. If you like football, and you like games, I mean, I hope you like games. Otherwise, why are you listening to this? To be perfectly honest, but if you like
football, guy an hour and 10 minutes in, he's like, "What am I doing here?"
If you like football and you like games,
I thought this was about.
And you've never played
landscape,
and you never played fantasy football before. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing it for about 7 or 8 years now.
I've been doing it about 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, he's been in one of my leagues for a couple of years. He actually won the championship last year.
Yeah, I got really lucky. It was fun.
And also expect all of our because we do have a rotation. I think everyone who's been listening since the beginning of the podcast knows that we have a rotation of several hosts kind of walking in and out. Right. We're gonna really try to get Justin and Kevin to join in, and Betty to join in. So
I think it'll be really cool. It'll be a cool place to where we could have listeners in there as a part of the fantasy football league, interacting with us. There's all types of
competitive
stuff.
nature.
So there's trades. There is a draft. I'll try to set it up so that the draft takes place after all the preseason games have ended, but before the regular season has started.
Right.
That way, you've had a chance to evaluate all the talent that's out there, draft yourself a good team, and then we'll get started.
And then just so you know, this is
gonna be a lot of fun.
This is a friendly competition thing. It's not
exactly.
There's no buy-in. It's not.
This is just going to be a really cool way to interact with us.
Yeah.
So
the thing I love about fantasy football is that it just gets me to watch other games.
Exactly.
Normally I would just sit down on the weekend and watch Dolphins.
Right, so we're based We're based out of Miami, so I just watched. I'm a huge Dolphins fan. I watched the Dolphins game, and then as soon as the Dolphins game is over, or if they're on a bye week, I'm watching Red Zone channel all day on Sunday.
Yeah, it's got me watching Red Zone.
He's taking notes.
That reminds me, we probably shouldn't record on Sundays during football season.
We
shan't be joining.
We're definitely going to be shifting times out. It'll probably start happening closer to Fridays and Saturdays.
Right.
So we'll be shifting up.
Yeah.
But yeah, join us.
So whenever I have it up and running,
We'll get the links out. You'll be able to see us
Exactly.
on
I'll
our
put the
social
links
media.
out there
Yeah.
and everything.
And
so yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
yeah,
Please join, guys.
Join. We're going to. I'm going to try my best to actually set up a dedicated page on the website just for this.
Okay, cool.
So you could just kind of go there and sign up and do what you got to do. Also, I'll probably be like just spamming you guys on Twitter just to make sure you guys either join or know that this is happening in the first place. With that said, any other updates that we have for this week?
Buy Fortnite. It's good as fuck.
By Fortnite. Don't listen to psychics.
Watch esports.
Watch
It's all their
esports.
favorite games.
And
And
if-
just touch it a little bit.
Yeah, just touch
just
it.
a little bit.
And if you are in the market for a GPU, don't buy.
Yeah.
Don't buy.
And don't be a dickhole that buys them all up and then tries to resell them. You're awful.
Oh, actually, one last thing should take like 2 seconds. SNES pre-orders are coming back.
Oh right, yeah, I heard
Yeah,
about that.
they're coming back. Finally.
Thank
Like,
God.
Can you imagine that? Like,
Thank God.
people pre-ordered, then they weren't pre-ordered. This is like some emotional
know.
roller coaster
I
for
know.
a lot of people.
I know.
Yeah.
People
So
got so mad at like Walmart and
you know what? I was going to bring it up. I had it in the agenda and I removed it only because I don't trust Nintendo anymore. I don't. So I was going to be like, hey guys, so guess what? Congratulations. We're getting SNES back. No, not yet.
Super Nintendo.
I'm letting you guys know, don't be hopeful.
Yeah.
If it comes back, good for you if you're able to get a pre-order. If not, you learn, it's Nintendo, so don't
buyer
expect.
beware.
Exactly. All right, guys. Anyway, that's all for this week. Please remember that we upload every Monday. Timing depends on the weather. Make sure to check us out at our website, www.hungjurnetwork.com. Search us up on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, and other affiliate podcast services as Hungry Gaming Podcast. As always, this conversation goes both ways. Let us know what you think. Tweet us at Hungry Gaming with your thoughts. I upload or try to upload every day a poll that has to do with gaming and stuff like that, just so we get an idea of where to lead our podcast that week. Now, as always, thank you for listening. Bye, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice time.
Bye.